Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Baltimore Colts football. Chuck Thompson, Vince Bagli, Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. The Colts, the winners of the AFC East, against the wild card entry, the Oakland Raiders, the defending Super Bowl champions, in the first round of the AFC playoff. Before a very nearly capacity crowd, and as Vince and I look from our booth here, it appears to be on the verge, if it is not already a sellout. It probably might be by the time we get midway through the first quarter. The weather conditions in Baltimore this afternoon are just absolutely sensational. In Baltimore, we have perfect weather. The temperature in the upper 40s, crowding in on 50 degrees. A bright, clear, sunshiny afternoon. And two exceptional football teams going head-to-head, the Colts and the Oakland Raiders. And joining the Baltimore Colts football network this afternoon, the 300 station of the American Forces Radio. Today's Colts-Raiders game being heard around the world, and to each and every one within range of our voice, the very warmest wishes from Vince Bagli and yours truly for a merry, merry, happy holiday season. Well, Vince, this is one that some people say the Colts shouldn't be in.
Well, that's right. There's a lot of criticism over some things that have happened along the way. They talk about the block punt with Detroit. They talked about the fumble that wasn't a fumble last week in the final game against New England. And they keep throwing that up. And maybe that'll make the Colts a tougher team as they play one of the very toughest teams in the business, Oakland, here today.
Oakland certainly is one of the more physical teams in the National Football League. It's their style of play. They're the kind of a team that is somewhat reminiscent of a team coached by Vince Lombardi in Green Bay many years ago. The kind of a football team that can kind of look you right in the eye and say, here is what we're going to do. Now you try and stop us. And they've got tremendously strong and big offensive linemen, and one of the very best passers in the National Football League, Kenny Stabler, and the fellow who is kind of a riverboat gambler when it comes to throwing that football. He's the kind of a fellow that will take chances, has taken them very, very successfully. And I think, as they say, Vince, many championship games are won in the trenches. I presume they're referring to the offensive and defensive line. That might settle this game today. If not that, it will certainly be the kicking event. And right now, here is the toss of the coin ceremony. We take you to the field.
Baltimore over here, please. Oakland over here. Who's going to call a toss? Call it in the air. Heads is called. Heads it is. Oakland wins the toss. You will receive which ball? All right? All right. Oakland has won the toss. Will receive. Good luck, gentlemen.
Well, Warren Bankston was the gentleman who called the toss of the coin for the visiting Oakland Raiders. He has correctly called the toss of the coin 14 out of 15 times. It is now 15 out of 16, Vince. The Raiders have won the toss, and the sellout crowd that we alluded to, we said very probably could be a sellout crowd by the time we got, midway to the first quarter, is in truth announced and is a sellout crowd, and we're very anxious about this afternoon's ball game. When you have two teams as capable of these two, you should have a heck of a game.
Oh, we had almost a sellout yesterday. I'm sure a lot of folks did some frantic last-minute preparations for the holidays, got it taken care of, said, Mabel, I'll take you to the game, and here they are, and we're glad to see everybody on a beautiful sunlit day the day before Christmas.
Now down on the goal line, ready to return, a former Baltimore Colt, Hubert Ginn, and right alongside him is Carl Garrett. Here is where the Oakland Raiders have a very distinct advantage over the Baltimore Colts in their returns of punt and returns of kickoff, and more definitely in their coverage of punt returns and in their coverage of kickoff returns. Hubert Ginn and Carl Garrett down on the goal line. Tony Linhart, a fellow who was an Olympic skier from Austria, will kick off for the Baltimore Colts. A professional soccer player for some 7 years. Linhart hits it high. It is deep. Garrett waiting at the Oakland 1. Garrett straight ahead, 10, 20, 25 up the middle, 30, 35 up to the 40, and over the 40 to the 41-yard line before Garrett is finally pulled down. Again, the Oakland Raiders, in the very first play of the ball game, demonstrate the fact that they are a bit more proficient returning the kick.
Chuck, exactly what you said. That's a 41-yard return by Carl Garrett, and that is some kind of spot to start the offense for Ken Stabler.
It'll be Oakland's ball, first down at their own 41-yard line. Stabler will be the quarterback, and his running backs in there will be Davis, number 28, and alongside of Davis will be number 30. That's Mark Van Egan. The turn, the give goes to Davis, left side, and he is up to the 45 and pulled down from behind by Mike Barnes. Barnes making the tackle, and again, that is something we expect to see Oakland do frequently today. They seem to prefer running the ball, Vince, to their left.
Yeah, that was just slightly off the center, but to the left side, behind those big guys shelling Upshaw, and we'll see if they do that a lot. New England does it a lot. New England ran to the left, so it's not a new thing. They'll be coming at Dutton and Ehrman probably more than Barnes and Cook the other way.
Well, Cliff Branch and Biletnikoff are set wide to the left side of the set, which is a standard pro set, shoulder to shoulder. Davis and Mark Van Eegen. Stabler gives to Van Eegen, right side of Cuddy as they head for 3-4 yards. Fumble, and I don't know who's recovered. It might be Baltimore's recovery. Lyle Blackwood recovered. Mark Van Eegen fumbled. Colt ball at the Colts 49-yard line.
We'd have to look at the rerun, Chuck, to see how the ball got loose. Van Eegen was headed down, probably had the ball punched out. Hard to tell who knocked it out.
First down, Baltimore at their own 49. They show an I formation. The lead back, Roosevelt leaks. The trailing back is Lydell Mitchell. In motion, Glenn Dowdy from wide to the right toward his own backfield. Pitch back to Lydell Mitchell. Swing to the right side into Oakland territory and taken down around the Oakland 48-yard line by Monty Johnson and also by John Matusak, the defensive end on that side, who rolled out to help on the tackle. The ball is marked at the Oakland Raiders 48-yard line. Second down, 7, Baltimore at that spot. Lyle Blackwood recovered. Mark Van Egen's fumble on the second offensive play of the ball game. And the Colts are in possession in Oakland territory. Dowdy wide to the left side. Freddie Scott wide to the right side. Tight end Chester, right end of the line. Again, an I formation. Leaks the lead back. Lydell Mitchell, the second back. The give to Lydell down the middle, and he stutters down to maybe the 46-yard line, looking for a little bit of a hole. And the defensive flow led by Otis Sittstrunk of the Oakland Raiders, and that great big guy that plays in the middle of the line, Dave Rowe, made the tackle at the 46. It's third down, 5, Baltimore at the Oakland Raiders 46-yard line.
There's also a marker down, and it looks like it could be against Baltimore. It talks to the Raiders, who use a 3-4 defense. Here's the official, Dick Jurgensen.
Illegal formation. Offense. Decoy. Third down.
Well, the Oakland Raiders have declined the yardage, have taken the down. It is third down and 5, Baltimore at the Oakland Raiders 46-yard line. Roosevelt Leaks is out of the Colts backfield. Replacing him is Don McCauley on a third down 5 at the Raider 46. Freddie Scott wide left, Dowdy wide right, standard pro set backfield, shoulder to shoulder now. Lydell Mitchell and Don McCauley. Chester, tight end, right end of the line. Take away by Jones. He wants to throw, rolls right, looks, fires the pass. It is incomplete, intending for Glenn Dowdy at the Raider 35-yard line, and the Colts come up 4th and 5 at the Raiders 46-yard line, and David Lee is on field to do the punting. And downfield to return for the Oakland Raiders. It will be number 21, or rather number 20, Neil Colsey, who was just one of the very, very best return men in all of football. David Lee will punt. His foot will hit the ball somewhere around the Colt 45, and let's see whether he angles for the sideline, whether he makes an effort to hang it up. Oakland with a 10-man rush against the punting effort of the Baltimore Colts right now. Waiting for Forrest Blue's snap to David Lee. Perfect. Here comes the pressure. David Lee got it away, angling to the far sideline. Colsey watches it bounce. It's going out of bounds inside the 15, and there is a timeout. And we'll have more Baltimore Colts football in 70 seconds.
There's always been a big difference between someone who talks a good game and someone who plays a good game. It's like that in football, and it's like that with beer. The brewers of Pabst Blue Ribbon don't just talk about taste. They challenge you to taste and compare Pabst with the beer you were drinking. They know that words like quality and heritage are just words, unless the taste is there to back them up. And Pabst has the taste the others just talk about. But they don't want you to take their word for it. They want you to take their challenge. Taste and compare Pabst with any other premium beer. And find out for yourself that there is a big difference between beers that talk taste and Pabst. It delivers taste. Pabst, since 1844. The quality has always come through.
See the new and exciting changes in the new 78 Buicks at Boyle Buick. Perfect combination of a little science, a little magic. All add up to a perfect car from Boyle Buick. Route 24 in Abington, 3 miles south of Bel Air.
David Lee elected not to punt the ball to Colsey. He kicked it out of bounds, and it bounced out on the Oakland Raiders' 12-yard line. And Oakland will again pick it up offensively with Stabler at quarterback. The running backs will be Van Egan and Clarence Davis. The wide receivers will be Cliff Branch and Fred Biletnikoff, and their tight end again will be Dave Casper. Shell, Upshaw, Dalby, Beeler, and Lawrence along that very good Oakland offensive line. Two of the better offensive lines in football here in Baltimore this afternoon. Biletnikoff wide to the right, Branch wide to the left, standard pro set backfield. Again is Van Egan and Davis. The give to Van Egan, left side, wide open hole. He is up to the 20, 25-yard line to about the 27-yard line before he is taken down by Ed Simonini. And boy, that left side of the Oakland line really opened a gaping hole for Van Egan. He rambled through to the 26-yard line of the Raiders.
Well, they rode John Dutton out of the play. That was the principal block thrown by the tackle. Threw him right out Art Shell. And that opened up for Van Egan. Van Egan probably won't break a long run for you, but he can rumble. And held on to the ball as he was hit.
This time, Stabler and the Raiders show an I formation. The lead back will be Van Egan. The gift to the second back, Davis, into the middle. It closes and stops him right about at the 25. There just wasn't any kind of daylight there at all, and Davis is down right along the line of scrimmage. As a matter of fact, may have lost a little bit. And you can give credit for the tackle to the fellows who play on that side of the line, guys like John Dutton and Joe Ehrman.
And that Dutton ran over Shell, and that caused the big collision with the ball carrier.
You've got Shell, 6'5", 275 against John Dutton, 6'7", and 268. They're a couple of big dudes stumping each other. 2nd and 10. Oakland now in a standard throw set with Branch wide to the left side. Biletnikoff against Stabler's first pass. Play action fake. Plenty of time. Throws down the middle. Caught by Branch at the 40 and taken down at the Oakland 40-yard line. First down pass, and Stabler at this time had all of the time needed to throw the ball. Branch came open. First down Oakland at their own 40-yard line.
And when Chuck said as the play was developing, plenty of time, if they give him plenty of time, it'll be a long afternoon for Baltimore. Stabler has a kind of a quick delivery. Doesn't have a real fluid motion, but he gets the ball there, and Branch shows he can go in the middle as well as deep.
Well, as the high school kid ran the 109.3 to Cliff Branch. He is wide to the left. The other way, Biletnikoff, the give to Van Egan, bounces off the left side and is hit. That's taken down by, it looked like Bruce Laird got there to make the tackle along the 42-yard line. Van Egan started to hit the left side and then tried to bend it around the left side, and it's taken down after maybe a step gain or two. Call it 2nd down and 8 for the Raiders at the Raider 42. No score early in the first quarter in Baltimore. Sellout crowd. Every seat is gone, and a beautiful afternoon for football. And two very, very good clubs. Biletnikoff takes Ciani, or rather takes the Branch in a slot to the right side. It's a standard pro set backfield. The takeaway by Stabler on the draw to Davis. Davis goes out to the right side, won't get anywhere. They're pulling him down along about the 39-yard line. On the draw to Davis, he tried to sneak in and get behind, but the hole never opened. Freddie Cook kept slamming the door in his face, and they drop him at the Raider 39-yard line, a loss of 3, 3rd down, and just about 11, Oakland at their own 39.
That was a great call when you think about it. 2nd and 8, certainly a passing situation. They figured to throw, and the draw plays a great call. Going to the side, they hadn't run the ball, the right side, but Baltimore shut it off.
Well, they've got Carl Garrett in that backfield right now. On a 3rd down, 11 at the 39. Stabler is back to throw, looks to set up. The left-hander sets and fires. It is incomplete. It was dropped by the intended receiver, Carl Garrett, along the Oakland 35-yard line. Covering him on the play was Tom McLeod. So Oakland, again, is not able to move beyond their own 40. And one of the best kickers I think you'll ever see in professional football, Ray Guy, is on the scene to do the punting.
Good defense, I'll tell you. Have a return on.
We've got 3 safety men back downfield for Baltimore. And the deep man is Lyle Blackwood around the Baltimore 17. Ray Guy can kick it right out of anybody's ballpark. Here comes the snap, and Guy hits it. High, booming, spiraling punt. Blackwood getting to it around the Baltimore 10. He will start back. Far sideline, 20 and out of bounds. Blackwood carrying that ball like a loaf of bread is back to the 20. The Colts have the football with the score. Baltimore nothing, Oakland nothing. There is a break in the action. Let's pause now for this message.
Specialist. One-day service on most American-made cars. Call 272-3376. Aberdeen Automatic Transmission Company. This is WAMD Aberdeen.
Stabler has not been able to get the Oakland offense in high gear, and Jones has only had one shot at it. He hasn't done it yet. Here they come with the ball for the second time. Baltimore sends Dowdy wide to the right. Freddie Scott wide to the left. An I formation. Roosevelt leaks the lead back. The second back is Lydell Mitchell. Jones takes it away, fakes the handoff, wants to throw it first down, drills his pass. It is going to be incomplete to Glenn Dowdy out around the 35-yard line, and a penalty flag is dropped. Bert Jones was hit after he threw the ball and is very slow getting up. The man standing over him is Matuzak. A penalty flag has been dropped, whether it's against Oakland or against Baltimore. We'll not know until the official comes out here and gives us some kind of an indication.
It's hard to tell what happened to Jones, who is now up on his feet and walking okay, so it's not a leg. It doesn't appear to be an arm. He might have gotten a shot. Now we try to look at the rerun. If we get a rerun, are we going to get a rerun?
Here's the referee. Well, it was a personal foul against Big Matuzak, the left side defensive end, hitting Jones after he threw the ball. And that's one of those unfortunate fouls that gives the Colts a great break. They're out at their own 36. The fortunate part is that Jones was able to recover. Jones threw the ball, and Matuzak really belted him on the top of the head after the pass had been incomplete. The give to Roosevelt Leaks. He's got a hold down to about the 45-yard line. Leaks rambles it out of Colt territory to about the 45, and Bert Jones is still giving evidence of being very, very uncomfortable after the late hit from Marv Matuzak. But the run by Roosevelt Leaks is picked up to about the 45, making it second down a yard, Baltimore at their own 45.
I think it was a continuation thing where Matuzak hit him, but I think he hit him harder than he had to, and that's the reason.
Hit him right in the top of the helmet, I believe.
Right.
Freddie Scott wide right the other way. It is Glenn Dowdy, a standard pro set backfield to turn. The gift to Roosevelt Leaks off the right side into Raider territory to the Raider 45. Roosevelt Leaks, the ball carrier. And Lester Hayes came up and made the tackle on Rosie. First down, Baltimore at Oakland's 45.
He made 9 off the left side, and now it comes right back 10 off the right side. And this is where they were when they had to punt the ball away 4 minutes ago.
Well, if you were Oakland, if you were any team playing Baltimore, you would definitely have to key on Lydell Mitchell. The Colts have taken advantage of that. They have run Roosevelt Leaks. First down at the Oakland 45. Scott wide left, Dowdy the other way. Jones gives to Leaks down the middle. He's got 5 more to about the 40. Roosevelt Leaks punched it right down the middle. Otis Sistrunk made the tackle. He is to the 40-yard line. Second down 5, Baltimore at the Raiders' 40-yard line. No score in the ball game. We are at the 8:27 minute of the 8:27 mark of the first quarter. Great day weather-wise in Baltimore, and the Raiders and the Colts in the first of the playoff series. Scott now is wide right, Dowdy wide left. Baltimore shows an I formation. Schefter tight end, left end of the line. Takeaway by Jones. Give to the second man, Lydell Mitchell. Slide through a little bit of a hole down around the Oakland 37-yard line before he is taken down. Which will bring up a third down at about 2. Monty Johnson, one of the linebackers for the Raiders, made the tackle. This one at the Raider 37-yard line.
McCauley for Leaks and a passing down. Third and 3.
With a third down coming, Baltimore in Oakland territory. At the Raider 37-yard line, their deepest penetration. Here comes Scott wide right, Dowdy the other way. Schefter tight end, right end of the line. Standard pro set backfield. Lydell Mitchell and Don McCauley shoulder to shoulder. Waiting for the takeaway by Bert Jones. He fakes. He wants to throw on third down. Throws to the left, fires back to the right to McCauley. And McCauley is taken down at about the 38-yard line for maybe a loss of a yard on the great and quick reaction of defensive linebacker Monty Johnson. Pretty good move. Jones rolled to his left and threw back to his right. McCauley was there, but so was linebacker Monty Johnson. And we come up to a punting down, 4th down and 3, Baltimore at the Raider 38. Again, Colsey, the lone safety. Oakland will rush 10 men. Last time David Lee punted for Baltimore, he angled to the far sideline, kicked the ball away from Neil Colsey. Let's see if they do that again. They're looking around for the snap. Still waiting for that snap. Forrest Blue fires. Here comes the pressure, and Lee again angles toward the far sideline. This one will be not nearly as effective. It'll go out of bounds, but this one somewhere inside the 30-yard line with the score. Oakland nothing, Baltimore nothing. There is a timeout. Baltimore Colts football continues in 70 seconds. your radio dial. Well, still no score. 6:37 remaining in the first quarter. Oakland is in possession at the Oakland 25-yard line, a 13-yard punt. That one kind of got off the inside of David Lee's foot, and he didn't do with it what he hoped to be able to do with it. Coming up in the football now, they've got Clarence Davis and Van Egan as running back in the standard pro set backfield. Double flankers, Paletnikoff and Branch wide to the right side. And the takeaway, there was motion in the Oakland front line. The give goes to Davis around the left end, and he is knocked down crossing the 25-yard line. And I think the inside, the left line guard, Upshaw, pulled a little bit prior to the snap. We'll know in just a moment.
He got out of there so fast, Chuck, and pulling that he allowed Herman to shoot the gap. It was almost like they were trapping, and Joe got through and missed the tackle, but the 5-yard penalty will benefit the Colts.
Well, he gained maybe 1 yard to about the 26-yard line. At this stage, does Baltimore want the real estate or the down?
Legal mark. Motion. 63. Offense. Decline.
Baltimore declines. They will take the down. The gain is 1 yard to the Raider 26. Second down and 9, Oakland at their own 26-yard line. No score first quarter. 6.5 minutes remaining. It's at about, a little bit beyond the 26. Here comes Branch wide to the left side of the set. Paletnikoff wide to the right side of the set. Davis and Van Egan are the running backs behind the fellow they call the Snake, Kenny Stabler. The take, the give to Davis, left side, bounces outside, made a cut and got hit crossing the 30 and taken down at about the 31-yard line. Nelson Muncie delivered the initial hit. Airman got there to help out, and Ed Simonini also around the ball. Gain is to the 32-yard line, which will bring up third down at about 3.
Now, it's interesting to see what Oakland do. Baltimore almost invariably throwing this down, but will the Snake do that? Stabler, 3rd and 3.
Well, he sends Branch and Paletnikoff wide to the right side of the set. Davis and Van Egan, the running back, standard pro set backfield. In other words, they're shoulder to shoulder. Casper tight on the give to Van Egan, left side, hit, and he is short of the first down yardage. Racing in quickly, Stan White, along with Joe Ehrman, to stop Van Egan at about the 28 or make that the 34-yard line. And the Oakland Raiders will have to kick the football away.
Boy, that's good defense. Good defense.
Ray Guy is on field. Lyle Blackwood, Ray Oldham downfield waiting for the kick. And along with him, number 28, Howard Satterwhite. So Baltimore will try a return with 3 safeties back downfield. 2 to try and help return man Blackwood. The snap. Ray Guy's punt. Oh, he hammers it. Hangs it up there. The hang time is just immense. At the 20, fumbles. And Blackwood fell on it back at the Baltimore 11 or 12-yard line. Blackwood fumbled the ball at the 20 and raced back and fell on it at about the 11 or 12-yard line. And a penalty flag is dropped along the 40-yard line on the far sideline. Whether that indicates a clip against Baltimore on the return, we'll have to wait and see. The officials are now talking it over. A lot of Oakland people are tuned in, so apparently the foul will be against Baltimore. And the referee is talking it over with Bert Jones.
So far, flipping on the run back.
Flipping foul against the Baltimore Colts on the run back. They do not tell us who. In that side of the field, it'd be hard to say exactly who, but that's the area that is occupied by Ray Oldham. The referee is Dick Jorgensen. And the walk back now.
Of course, Ray Oldham could have been back helping with coverage, and somebody peeling back to cut down one of the pursuers or the punt could have clipped. It could have been anybody.
Well, Blackwood. They put the football back down at the Baltimore Colts 5-yard line. And a clip, and they do not identify the clipboard. Lydell Mitchell, Roosevelt leaks behind Bert Jones. In motion, Dowdy, the give to Lydell Mitchell, right side, darts through a hole up to about the 10, and fights his way across the 10 to about the 11-yard line, taken down there by Hayes and by former teammate, a former Baltimore Colt, Ted Hendricks. The gain is just over the 10-yard line, almost 6 yards, making it second down at about 4 for Baltimore. Near their own 11-yard line, and we're down now to 4:45 of the first quarter without a score. Oakland against Baltimore in Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. Just a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Wide to the left side, Freddie Scott. The other way, it's Glenn Dowdy. A split in the backfield now. Roosevelt leaks and Lydell Mitchell. No man directly behind Bert Jones, the quarterback. He gives to Lydell to the right side, a little bit of a hole, and he punches it forward up to about the 15, and maybe they have the first down.
I think he does.
Lydell Mitchell is one of the most difficult backs in football to describe because so many times it looks like there's no chance of making any yardage because of there not being a hole there. Somehow or other, he seems to find another yard or two, and Mitchell has picked up first down yardage for Baltimore, the ball resting at the Baltimore 15.
Roosevelt Leaks made that play possible, took out the linebacker right.
Now they show the eye with Roosevelt Leaks leading it, and the trailing back is Lydell Mitchell. The give to no one out of play action. Here's Jones throwing, pumping once, now going for broke. Here comes Freddie Scott racing to it. Incomplete and almost intercepted down there by number 24, Willie Brown of the Oakland Raiders. A very, very good defensive play by Willie Brown broke up what might have been a score for the Baltimore Colts. And we'll pause for station identification. This is the Metro Media Baltimore Colts Football Network.
WKMD, Aberdeen.
Those of us who have had a chance to look at it again, Vince, it appeared to be underthrown just a little.
That's right. Yes, Freddie had him beaten in the pump fake, but Burt got him there, and then he didn't get the ball there.
Scott wide right, Dowdy wide left, split in the backfield. Nobody behind quarterback Burt Jones. 2nd and 10 at the Colts 15. In motion, Dowdy toward the backfield. Give to Lydell to the left side. He makes a turn and is up for maybe 2 yards around the 17 before Oakland is able to knock him down. It looked like Ted Hendricks came over to make the tackle, and helping him number 39, and that would be Willie Hall, another one of the 4 linebackers behind the down 3 of Oakland. It'll be 2nd down 8 Baltimore at the Baltimore Colts 17-yard line. No score with 3:22 remaining in the first period. Oakland will, for the most part, play a down 3. When they figure there's a rush, they'll play a down 4, and it is 3rd down and 8 at the Colts 17. A split in the backfield. Don McCauley and Lydell Mitchell behind Burt Jones on 3rd down. Jones is back to throw. Here comes a pretty good rush. He hangs on and then is going to be hit by Marv Matuzak and is going to be down back around the 1 or 2 yard line. And Jones goes over and puts a hand down to Marv Matuzak and helps him up off the ground. How about that? The loss is back to the Colts 5-yard line.
Well, David Lee have to root it out now, kick it from the end line. And Oakland will get position with Colsey upfield around midfield.
Right around the 48-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. And again, it'll be a 10-man rush coming from the Oakland Raiders. Colsey, the lone safety man, now has moved up to between Baltimore's 40 and 45. Waiting for the snap from center to the Baltimore punter, David Lee. Forrest Blue takes one more look around. And now they're about ready to go. A little stunting done. Here comes the snap. Now the punt. David Lee takes his time, drills it out of there. Good-looking punt. Colsey back to the Oakland 45. Now starts up across the 50 into Baltimore territory. Penalty flag down. And along with it goes Colsey at the Baltimore 42. Bob Pratt made the tackle.
Gary Robusky, I think, clipped number 35. And pretty good coverage, but we're going to walk it back a few yards. And there's... Let's wait till we put the ball down before we get the timeout. Here's the official, Dick Jurgensen, referee.
First football, flipping on the run back.
Ball will be moved back somewhere around the 40. There's a timeout with a score. Baltimore nothing, Oakland nothing.
Attention ski lovers. The B&J Ski Shop, located in the B&J Trailer Sales Building on Route 40 between Aberdeen and Havre de Grace, has on display a complete new shipment of skis and Western clothing for both men and women. The B&J Ski Shop also has men and women's casual clothing. In skis, you'll find such big names as Head and K2 and Dolomite ski boots. If you act now, the B&J Ski Shop is offering big discounts on their pre-season package special. There's big discounts, too, on last year's leftover merchandise. If you're one who likes to ski and you're looking for top-quality ski equipment and wearing apparel at a down-to-earth price, you'll find it at the B&J Ski Shop in the B&J Trailer Sales Building on Route 40 between Aberdeen and Havre de Grace. For skis, ski boots, Western wear, casual wear, and more, the B&J Ski Shop is the place to go. That's the B&J Ski Shop, Route 40 between Aberdeen and Havre de Grace. The exciting new Fiesta, the Ford import from Germany, is at your local Ford dealers, Hinder Ford in Aberdeen. Fiesta, a small car with everything. Room for 4 adults, low upkeep, economy EPA ratings of 46 miles per gallon on the highway, 34 city. Your mileage may vary, depending on how and where you drive, car conditions, and options. Check it out yourself with a fun test drive, and do it soon at Hinder Ford, South Philadelphia Boulevard in Aberdeen.
they say, Vince, found a home in Oakland.
Yeah, he bounced around a little bit, and Al Davis takes some of the renegade types in, straightens them out. Everybody loves Al and gives them a good home, feeds them well, pays them well, and they play well.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about that Oakland organization and Mr. Al Davis. Once somebody is employed by Oakland, he stays there for a long time. Take a look at their assistant coaches. They have been there for great numbers of years. So that speaks very, very well, I think, for the Oakland organization. They come up on the football with Cliff Branch wide left, wide right, Biletnikoff, standard pro set backfield, Van Egan, and Clarence Davis behind the stake. Stabler, the give to no one, play action fake. Stabler wants to throw, fires down. The gut is caught by Biletnikoff at the Baltimore 46-yard line. Biletnikoff on the receiving end, and Stabler just got rid of it ahead of a hit from Freddie Cook.
Boy, it's amazing how he gets open. He kind of looks like the scarecrow in the Wizard of Oz at Biletnikoff.
I know how he gets open. He just climbs up out of a hole in the infield. He is just amazing at the Baltimore Colts 46-yard line. First down, Oakland. Stabler sends Branch wide to the left side of the set. Biletnikoff the other way. Now they go to a double wing. Davis the wing on the left side. The only man behind the quarterback is Van Egan. The gift to Van Egan. Down the middle he goes. He's got daylight and into the inside the Baltimore 40 to the Baltimore 36-yard line before Bruce Laird can ride him down. Van Egan, the leading rusher in the AFC, has carried very near first down yardage to about the Baltimore Colt 36. It'll be Raider ball, second down and a yard at the Baltimore 36-yard line, or 30, right near the 36, between the 36 and 35. Second down and a very short yard. They come out with Davis and Van Egan behind Stabler, wide to the left side. Branch the other way. Biletnikoff, watch the snake. Gives to Van Egan off the left side. First down to the Baltimore 30-yard line goes Van Egan. A Red Raider out of Colgate. Freddie Cook, the last guy to get up, made the tackle. First down for the Oakland Raiders at the Baltimore Colts 30-yard line with 50-some seconds remaining in this, the first quarter.
Van Egan from Colgate, the fellow who preceded him, Marv Hubbard from Colgate. And I remember another Colgate guy since Danny Fortman played for the Chicago Bears on those great teams in the 40s.
All ready to go. In a standard pro set with Branch. Here is Stabler giving it off to Davis. Off the left side. Daylight down to the Baltimore 20. Inside the 20 to the 10 to the 5. And in for the score goes Davis. And a penalty flag has been dropped down at the 1-yard line.
Might have been a face mask in case he didn't get in. They missed a few of them that time, Baltimore.
A 30-yard touchdown run off the left side by Clarence Davis, and the Oakland Raiders have drawn first blood. They're out in front 6-0. And a penalty flag dropped along the 1-yard line. It might have been face masking, as Vince suggests, against Baltimore. We'll know in a moment. It is exactly that face masking decline.
Face mask defense. This foul will be administered on the kickoff.
And on the kickoff, the foul will be administered.
So they'll kick it off from the midfield, which doesn't make a whole lot of difference anyway. They kick it into the end zone. So it's a touchdown on the 30-yard run by Clarence Davis.
A 30-yard run with 3 missed tackles. Well, Errol Mann, he's been around for a few years. Vince will try the point after touchdown. We're waiting for the snap. There it is, the spot, the kick in the air, and the kick is good. So with about 30 seconds showing on the stadium clock, the Oakland Raiders now are leading the Baltimore Colts by a count of 7-0. The Raiders 7 and the Colts nothing. And this Raider drive started on the Raider 40-yard line. Just a very fine run by Clarence Davis. He made a great move on Lyle Blackwood and ran right by him. Oakland now will have the penalty stepped off on the kickoff, and we'll move that ball considerably upfield.
It's a bit of an unusual call. A lot of times you'll see this on an extra point where there's a personal foul involved.
Well, the official was going to penalize Oakland until Oakland suggested that maybe he was going the wrong way.
And he's only penalizing 5 yards. That's right. So it's kind of academic. You rarely see it on a touchdown run and then following and administered on the following kickoff. You do on extra point. Looks like Guy's going to kick it off. Chuck?
Davis's 30-yard touchdown run, and it is now 7-0. And it does look like Guy will kick off. And that's exactly who it'll be.
He and Errol Mann also kicks off.
Marshall Johnson down on the goal line. Lyle Blackwood wide to his right side. McCauley wide to his left side. And so let's watch Guy here. The ball is spotted now on the 40-yard line. Guy waiting for the okay from the official. Oakland now 7-0 on the... Here's a booming kickoff into the end zone, and Marshall Johnson will cover it in the end zone and not return it. And the Colts will have the touchback and go to work first down at their own 20-yard line. The Oakland drive and a pass to Biletnikoff from their own 40, carried to the Baltimore Colt 46. A Van Egan run to the Baltimore Colt 30. And then Clarence Davis ripped off the left side, eluded 2 or 3 Colt tacklers with some nifty running, and hammered it in for the score. And it's now Oakland 7-0 on the conversion by Errol Mann. Baltimore with the football at their own 20. Lionel Mitchell, Roosevelt leaks the standard pro set backfield. Scott is wide to the right side. The other way, it is Glenn Dowdy. From the Baltimore 20, a play-action fake. Back to throw as Jones fires down the throat. It is incomplete and almost intercepted by Hall, one of the linebackers for the Oakland Raiders. He knocked it down, but could not hold on to it. 2nd and 10, Baltimore at the Baltimore 20. And we're coming down to 19 seconds in this first quarter.
Freddie Scott had run a down pattern and cut across the middle, and the ball just never got to him as Willie Hall jumped up to block it. I think that's Bert's control. If you want to make a comparison with a baseball pitcher, a little bit off. He didn't get it far enough to Scott. He missed Dowdy on the sideliner, and this one was close to being intercepted because he didn't throw it high enough.
Dowdy wide right, Scott wide left. Standard pro set backfield. Jones with Chester on the right end of the line as a tight end is back to throw. He rolls right, pressure coming. He fires. Incomplete. And again, Dave Rowe is jumping up and down. The middle man of the front three got a hand of the football and did not hold on to it, so it is 3rd down and 10 for Baltimore at their own 20. And Bird is finding it a little bit difficult to hook up with his receivers in the early going. 15 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Oakland 7, Baltimore nothing on a 30-yard sprint over the left side by Clarence Davis.
Bird is 0 for 5.
That's having trouble hooking up. Here comes the 3rd and 10, and just one play can wipe that out, Vince, as you well know. Dowdy wide right the other way. Now Oakland goes to a down 4, a pass rush. The Baltimore Colts are in a double wing. The only man behind the quarterback, McCauley. Jones is back to throw on 3rd down. Sets up, and now it runs into trouble. Oakland has got him at the 15-yard line. He is down. And it looked like it was Pat Toomey who made the tackle. He's the extra lineman that comes in when Oakland rushes with 4 men. So Baltimore, unable to move the football, comes up 4th and 10 at their own 20 and will kick the ball away.
It's the kind of thing that Oakland gets the ball back. They moved it the last time very well. They could take command at this stage of the game.
I don't know if they'll get it off before the quarter ends. The clock is counting down, and there goes the gun, and that will end the first quarter. That is the end of the first quarter with our score. Oakland 7, Baltimore nothing.
There's a game some people play. A losing game. It's called shoplifting. The object is to steal something from someone else.
Boyle Buick, where satisfaction is standard equipment. Check out all the new Buicks from the sporty Skyhawk to the elegant Riviera. Boyle Buick, Route 24 in Abington, 3 miles south of Bel Air.
Has had a little trouble punting the football this afternoon. The yardage that is, comparatively speaking, against a fellow like Guy who's punted the ball twice. 51 yards both times for Guy. David Lee has punted 34, 13, and then 49. Again, it'll be Colsey waiting at the Oakland 43 or 4 yard line. A 10-man rush coming up from Oakland. David Lee waiting for the snap from Forest Blue. And there's a little motion. They freeze it again. Here comes the snap. Pressure coming, and the man fell down, and David Lee hangs it up high and not very deep. It is going to bounce, and it takes a cold bounce to midfield into Oakland territory to the Oakland 48-yard line, and will be settled down right there, Vince.
Chuck, I'd take it. You take it for a couple of reasons. First of all, he almost had it blocked, and then it hit the ground. Once you can get it to hit the ground, you're in good shape, and if you get it to roll toward the other team's goal line, you're in better shape. You keep it away from that punt returner, that's a fine kick. That's equivalent to a fair catch at the Oakland 48, a 37-yard punt under pressure, and that you take, because they could have had this thing deep in Baltimore territory, where Colsey can run them back, and the way sometimes our coverage team doesn't cover.
All ready to go. First down, Oakland at the Oakland 48-yard line. Van Egan, the lead back. The second back is Davis. Pitch back to Davis to the left side. Made a turn, and Ehrman was there, and he had somebody else assisting him. Joe Ehrman, it might have been, and was Stan White.
Yes, sir. Talking to a fellow last night, very knowledgeable football person, whom we won't identify, but thinks it's a crime that Stan White didn't make All-Pro. Had a terrific year at that right linebacker position.
Well, we have a penalty flag dropped, and here comes the referee to tell us what is found. Holding against Baltimore.
do you hold on a...
Stan White is talking to the official. The official feels that Stan White illegally used his hand, and White is still discussing the play with the official, who backs away. White is still
Holding defense.
holding defense.
First down.
First down, Oakland at the Baltimore Colts 48.
It's hard to describe how you hold on a running play, how the defense holds on a running play.
Well, I'm sure the officials would be able to explain it if they had the opportunity to do so. First down, Oakland now at the Baltimore 48. Oakland leading by a count of 7-0. The turn to give to Van Egan to the right side, up the middle, and he is hit by Mike Barnes, who took him down somewhere around Baltimore's 44-yard line. And a gain of 4 will bring up second down and 6 for the Raiders at the Baltimore Colts 44. Stan White is still talking a little bit on the far side to that official, who apparently Stan must have been the one guilty of the holding. And he is still not shouting and screaming, but he has had a few words to say to the official on the far side. Now on that far side goes Cliff Branch. That's wide left. Wide right is Paletnikov. Van Egan and Davis, the running backs, give to Davis left side. Makes a turn, hit from behind by Stan White, and taken down. Bruce Laird to help down the play. And it is right along about the 44-yard line. Little or no game. Third down and 6 for the Oakland Raiders at the Baltimore 44.
Yeah, they're playing that run very well.
Very well.
Last time they caved in a few times in the 30-yard touchdown run. Bad tackling, but generally speaking, they're playing the run of the left side well.
Now here comes Ray Oldham on field, and that will drop a linebacker, and it'll be a middle linebacker, Simonini. They'll play with 2 linebackers, 5 defensive backs. Wide to the left side, Branch. Wide to the right side, Paletnikov. Split in the backfield. No man directly behind the quarterback, Saber. Back to throw goes the Snake. The left-hander set, has time, fires. Intercepted by Bruce Laird to the 50, to the Oakland 30, to the Oakland 20, to the 10, 5, touchdown Laird. Stadium is going crazy. Bruce Laird stepped in front of the intended receiver, picked it off, picked up some blocking, and went all the way for the touchdown. And now Linhart will try to tie the ball game with a point after for Laird. It would be his 4th interception on the year. And for the Colts, their first touchdown on an intercepted pass this year. Linhart will try the point after, waiting for the snap. Snap, spot, kick in the air. Kick looks good. There are no penalty flags. It is good. With the score, Colts 7, Oakland 7. There is a timeout. Baltimore Colts football continues in 70 seconds.
Nationwide has been insuring cars for a long time. When you get a car, see a Nationwide agent. Check Nationwide's money-saving discounts and excellent claim service. You'll find out why 9 out of 10 of Nationwide's auto policyholders renew year after year. Auto insurance is part of Nationwide's blanket protection for your family or business. Call a Nationwide agent today. Nationwide is on your side.
See your local Nationwide agent at Resource Beer in Aberdeen, 2725111. Tyler G. Blevins Jr. in Bel Air, 838-5295.
Take on the challenge of Pabst Blue Ribbon. If you're looking for quality beer, compare our beer with any other. Try us once and you'll discover the great beer taste we're bringing home to you. With Pabst Blue Ribbon, the quality always comes through.
A little science, a little magic. All this and more in the new Buicks at Boyle Buick. Stop in soon and see the complete line of 78 models. Boyle Buick, Route 24 in Abington.
Bruce Laird has been credited with not only the first intercepted pass return for a touchdown this year, but 61 yards of it. Linhart kicking off. A high deep kick. Carl Garrett waiting at about the Oakland 3. He is over the 5, the 10, the 15, the 20. The 25 on its feet, hit from behind and taken down at about the 32 or 3-yard line goes Carl Garrett. The longest intercepted. The last time a Colt intercepted and returned for a touchdown. Nelson Muncie did it against New England December the 21st of 1975.
What was the distance on what's the longest? Do we determine that one, Chuck?
Not yet, but Tommy Davis is looking at it right now. Here comes Oakland. Double flankers, Paletnikoff and Branch wide to the right side. And that cry of defense. And we hold on. We had a late arrival coming, Mike Barnes, from the sideline. There might have been an equipment repair. We're not too sure.
Boy, that's a bad way to...
Timeout, Baltimore. The Colts have had to take what could be a very bad, very costly timeout.
I guess it's better to do it in the first half, but Barnes wasn't on the field, and they only had 10 men out there, and he came in.
The longest return in Colt history was by Rick Volt against the Bears in October of 1967, 94 yards for a touchdown. Thank you, Tommy Davis. 61 yards for a touchdown by Bruce Laird.
This afternoon's Colt Raiders playoff is being heard around the world via the Armed Forces Radio Network, and we welcome all of our new listeners wherever they may be on this Christmas Eve. And we hope the weather is as good where you are. This is here.
It really is a great day.
And yet it's beginning to cloud just a trifle. As sun, let me say it's a weaker sunshine than before, and rain is expected tomorrow, but the fans won't mind that too much if they can enjoy this afternoon, and for these fans here, a Colt victory. Chuck, that's a real lifter, that 61-yard return, because the Baltimore offense has been having trouble moving it through the air, hadn't completed a pass. They'd moved the ball on the ground fairly well, but to get back into the game with a tie on a pass interception is a real lift.
All ready to go. They bring him out on the football. Paletnikoff wide to the right side of the set. Cliff Branch the other way. And the takeaway play action fake. Stabler wants to throw. Pressure coming. He runs out of one tackle. Has time. Throws. Caught by Paletnikoff at the 45. And he is taken down by Lyle Blackwood at about the 46-yard line. Stabler got just avoided one great rush from Baltimore's Freddie Cook and got away to throw the football upfield and hooked up with Paletnikoff. First down, Oakland at their own 46.
Stabler has some mobility. He won't run with the ball, and he doesn't have the mobility of the Clark and Inner or the Scrambler types, but he can stand on his feet.
Well, he has had time so far. The Colts defensive unit has just not been able to pressure him. First down at the Raider 46. Stabler with a long count, yanks it away, no fake, wants to throw, sets up, fakes once, now fires, blocked by Mike Barnes for the Baltimore Colts.
And they nailed Stabler as he threw the ball. Illegally.
Well, the snake has been nailed a few times, as every quarterback has. I'll tell you, down through the years that I've had the privilege of watching Kenny Stabler play, he has been one of the most impressive quarterbacks I've seen in the league. Fellas like Stabler and Namath and Unitas and Jones and people like that, and Greasy of Miami. These are tremendously impressive guys. Second down and 10 at the Raider 46. Again, Van Egan and Davis, the running back. The takeaway to give to number 31, Carl Garrett. Bouncing around the left corner. It's being strung out. He made a turn and was tackled very quickly by the linebacker Ed Simonini along the midfield marker, maybe a step into Baltimore territory. Maybe more than that when they spot that football, we'll know. They put it at the Baltimore 48. A gain of 6. It'll be third down 4 for the Oakland Raiders at the Baltimore Colts 48.
Here's Pete Banaszak making his first appearance, Chuck. A great name in this league, and he's been around a long time, for some 12 years out of Miami. And a great third down player, Pete Banaszak.
And they go to a double wing to the Oakland Raiders on 3rd and 4 at the Baltimore 48. Stabler wants to throw it. He is back to pass, sets up, fires a sideliner, incomplete, intending for Branch. Coming back to the football, it hit in front of him, and there was great pressure. I see middle linebacker Ed Simonini. Apparently a blitz was on, and Stabler had to unload perhaps before he was ready to do so.
This didn't get quite enough
held.
Now here's a critical play here. Baltimore certainly doesn't want to go offside. It's 4th down and 4, and Oakland just as soon try to draw them off. Now they'll fool around out here, try to get Baltimore to jump to get an automatic first down.
The Baltimore lone safety at the 10 is Lyle Blackwood. He's got fellas like Marshall Johnson upfield, and also Don McCauley to help out. Now it's Satterwhite there instead of Marshall Johnson. Ray Guy hits it a high hanging punt. Fair catch. They're going to let it go. It'll hit it about the way it goes into the end zone. A touchback. Baltimore will put it in play at their own 20-yard line. There is a break in the action with a score. Baltimore 7, Oakland 7. Let's pause now for this message. Thompson, Vince Bagli, Memorial Stadium, Baltimore. 11:29 remaining in the first half. Oakland Raiders 7, Baltimore Colts 7. A 30-yard touchdown run by Clarence Davis of the Raiders, and a 61-yard interception and return for touchdown by Bruce Laird. That's been the scoring. Baltimore has the football at their own 20-yard line and are ready to go, and Burt Jones has had a very poor first half throwing the ball. He is 0 for 5. And that could turn any moment. And, of course, if you are a Colt fan, you hope that it'll begin to turn right now. Freddie Scott, wide left, Dowdy wide to the right side. An I formation, leaks up front. Lydell Mitchell behind him. First down from the Baltimore 20, waiting for Jones' takeaway. He gives to Roosevelt Leaks into the middle for a couple of tough yards, maybe to about the 22, and a penalty flag is dropped. Maybe that's just a marker. I'm not too sure, but we'll see, because it was dropped, it seems, after the play was over. Monty Johnson made the tackle, or at least the initial hit, and it looks like Oakland has a penalty coming up.
Face mask, I think. When a guy runs 2 yards into the line, there's no reason to face mask. That's an accidental thing, but it's also a first down. I think that's what the call is.
Face mask, number 58, defense, first down.
The linebacker Monty Johnson yanked the face mask of Roosevelt Leaks, and it's a first down at the 27-yard line.
First and 10, Baltimore at their own 27. It'll be Roosevelt Leaks and Lydell Mitchell in a standard pro set backfield. Here's the gift to Roosevelt Leaks off the right side, waits for a block and comes up over the 30 to about the 31. And then it's taken down. Ted Hendricks assisting on the tackle, and down at the bottom of the pile, rolling over and getting up right now. Looks like that number 58, Monty Johnson, has made more than his share of tackles so far, Vince.
If Oakland 3-4 doesn't, at this point, appear to be as destructive against Baltimore's offense as some others it has played against in the running game anyway.
Second down at 5, Baltimore near their own 32. They've got Dowdy wide right, Freddie Scott the other way, a standard pro set backfield. The handoff to Lydell Mitchell to the right side open. Up over the 40, and about the Baltimore 42-yard line goes Lydell Mitchell. He's running right off the hip of George Kuntz. Tackle credit again to Monty Johnson trailing the play, and Lester Hayes, the defensive back. First down, Colts. Vince?
You know, another guy who really does a job. I mentioned George Kuntz, absolutely right, Chuck, but Roosevelt Leaks does block, and Raymond Chester block, and Robert Pratt, all those people besides George Kuntz on that play.
Well, it is a championship game, and it's being played in championship fashion by Oakland and Baltimore, a 7-7 tie. 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Out of the eye. The gift to Lydell Mitchell, and he stutters forward for maybe a yard or two, and a penalty flag has been dropped again.
I think that Baltimore moved in the right guard, Kenny Huff.
It appears David Rowe, the middleman of the front three for the Oakland Raiders, says it's going to go against Baltimore, and it's offside against Baltimore. Preliminary indication. Will the Raiders take the real estate or the down? We'll know in a moment. And they talked that over with Willie Brown, a 15-year veteran from Grambling, and what a player.
Oh, he really is.
What a player. He'll take the real estate, says Willie.
You know, they were back in the AFL, and Willie was kind of a young player then. About 1963, he came around.
So it'll be
Offside, number 75, offense,
75.
still first down.
The guy next to Huff is George Kuntz, who moved offside.
First and 15, Baltimore at the Baltimore 37. 7-7, Oakland and the Baltimore Colts. 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Wide right Dowdy. Wide to the left side is Freddie Scott. Split in the backfield. Nobody behind Jones, who is 0 for 5 throwing. Dowdy in motion toward his own backfield. Handoff to Mitchell, right side, and he dives over the 40-yard line to about the 41-yard line, where he is hit and held. And the Colts come up to a second down and about 11, maybe, near their own 41-yard line, and Monty Johnson again gets tackle credit.
You know, they might be blowing Matuzak out a little bit and seeing something over on that side. They've gone to the right the last few times and made some yards. Now we get Pat Toomey in. They expect the rush, and with 2nd and 12, they'll have 4 down linemen.
Well, they spotted the ball at the 40, so it is 2nd down and 12 right now. Dowdy wide to the right side. Freddie Scott the other way. Jones with a 2nd and 12. Yanks it away. Fakes. Rolls back. Lobs it out the flat to Lydell with a blocker. Lydell up to the 45. Down the far sideline and out of bounds around the 49-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. And Lester Hayes made the tackle to knock him out. And we'll pause for station identification. This is the Metro Media Baltimore Colts Football Network.
WKMD, Aberdeen.
Well, it'll be 3rd down and a long 3 yards for the Colts. They've got to get down around the Raider 48-yard line for a 1st down. A little bit of a flare in the flat to Lydell Mitchell, and he raced it upfield to about his own 49, just shy of it. Don McCauley is in the backfield right now. Raymond Chester splits off the tight end on the left end of the line. Slot right, Dowdy. Jones is back to throw. 3rd and 3. Halftime. Rolls left now. Gets hit, and down he goes. And it was the Monty Johnson, that linebacker, who made the tackle on Jones. And I mean, he made some kind of a hit on Burt. And Burt is very slow getting back up at about the Baltimore Colts 33-yard line.
He was blocked, actually. Monty Johnson's momentum carried off of a block right into Jones and knocked him down. And Burt limps out.
A tremendous loss, and David Lee is on to do the punting right now. Back downfield, it'll be Neil Colsey. Again, Oakland will rush 10 men against the punting effort of David Lee. Waiting for Forrest Blue's snap. Oakland does a lot of stunning along the line. The snap. Here comes the kick from David Lee. A spiraling punt coming toward Neil Colsey. Lets it roll. It bounces deep, and it's going to be taken down at about the 21-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. And almost, it was covered by number 81, and that's Morris Bradshaw, or the Colts might have come up with it. There is a timeout with the score, Oakland 7, Baltimore 7.
The Spinners for Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer.
Everybody's looking to find what's best in the things they do and the music they hear. Take on the challenge of Pabst Blue Ribbon. If you're looking for quality beer, compare our beer with any other. Try us once and you'll discover the great beer taste we're bringing home to you. With Pabst Blue Ribbon, the quality always comes through.
Pabst challenges you to discover a better tasting premium beer. Taste and compare Pabst Blue Ribbon with the beer you're now drinking. You'll taste the difference Blue Ribbon quality makes, because our quality means the best tasting beer money can buy.
With Pabst Blue Ribbon, the quality always comes through.
Come to Boyle Buick and check out big savings on 1977 company and executive cars, now being offered at low, low prices. Save now while they last. Boyle Buick, Route 24 in Abington, 3 miles south of Bel Air.
An idea how equal it was through the first period of play. The Raiders controlled the ball 7.5 minutes. So did the Baltimore Colts. 7.5 minutes, and neither team in the first quarter converted on 3rd down. Neither the Raiders nor the Colts. 1st and 10, Oakland at their own 22. The turn, the give to Van Egan off the left side. He is hit and taken down at about the 24-yard line. Dan White looked like he got in there first of all. Joe Ehrman also refused to be taken out of the play. They spot the football at about 2nd and 8. The 24-yard line. 2nd down 8, Oakland at their own 24. Tie ball game 7-7. What a great afternoon for just anything, and particularly for a championship football game. Blitnikoff, wide right, Branch, wide left, Van Egan and Davis running back behind Stabler. He wants to throw. The stake is back, sets up, pumps once, now fires. Here's Branch all alone and goes out of bounds at about the 49-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Branch on the receiving end. 1st down, Oakland at their own 49.
I tell you, he hasn't gone at all to Casper yet. He's gone to the back only one time, trying to get a back throwing out of the backfield. So Oakland still has a lot of guns they haven't yet used. Kickoff and Branch have been the primary receivers, and that's where the snake has gone most of the time.
And that huge offensive line has done a splendid job of giving him all of the time he needs to throw the football. Meantime, Jones has been harried and hustled. The gift to Davis starts to the left side, made a cut. Down he goes at about the 49-yard line of the Colts. Joe Ehrman led a 2-3 Colt tacklers with Stan White. They're spotting it at the Baltimore Colts. Well, let's see. It looks like they might put it down just at the 49-yard line. 2nd and 8, Oakland.
Stan White's having a great day. He's playing off those blocks, and he's sort of stunning at the last moment after the play gets in motion. He'll duck from one side or the other to the tackle of the blocker, and frequently make the tackle or forcing him to Dutton or Ehrman.
He got played off one and got caught holding, which was a very strange call. 2nd down and 8 for Oakland at the 49. Stabler, play action fake, back to throw, has time, now runs, still has time, now lobs it upfield, and it's caught by Branch, but I think he was out of bounds, and he was. So it'll be an incomplete forward pass. 3rd down 8 for the Raiders at Baltimore's 49, and the deep defenders for the Colts are doing a good job on the would-be receivers. And you mentioned Casper that he hasn't used. He was very deep on the last pattern, but well covered.
Well, he could be open here. I mean, they could be looking for him here. It's 3rd. It's obviously a passing down 3rd and 8. We have Luce in the game, and Simonini out. We also have Oldham in, so I guess, Ehrman's out, so 3-man rush.
With 3 linebackers and 5 defensive backs on a 3rd down and 8 at the 49. Oakland goes to a double wing. Stabler yanks it away. It's back to throw. Looks to find a receiver. Up in the pocket. Has time. Throws. It is going to be incomplete. Norm Thompson broke it up, intended for Fred Biletnikoff at the Baltimore 37-yard line. A fine defensive play by that solid veteran defensive back, Norm Thompson. And this crowd, sellout crowd in Baltimore, on their feet and should be applauding a tough defensive unit.
That guy will punt the ball and probably kick it around the goal line. And Blackwood will have to be a wary receiver.
Ray Guy, who has just hammered that football, 51, 48 yards every time he swung the foot. There are 3 safety men downfield waiting for the Ray Guy punt. Here it comes, and he hits it high and hammers it deep toward the Baltimore goal line. They're going to let it hit. Hits on the 1, rolls into the end zone and out of the end zone for a touchback. And the Baltimore Colts will go to work again at their own 20-yard line. And those Ray Guy punts are awesome things. They are really missiles, aren't they?
They really are. He's kicked, 251, 148, 149. So that's average right around 49 or 50 yards. And it looks like he's concerned with the average, 43.3. And when he has to kick it out of bounds, I'll guarantee you he can do that.
Better believe he can.
Number 1 draft choice.
Jones brings Baltimore on the football at their own 20-yard line on I formation. Roosevelt leaks in front of Lydell Mitchell. From the 20 on 1st down, Jones gives to Lydell off the right side. He squirts through a little bit of a hole and is held up after a pickup of maybe 2 yards. Sistrunk, among others, gets tackle credit. They put it to 22, 2nd down and 8 for the Colts at that spot.
These other teams, New England, Miami, Denver, 3 of the teams who beat the Colts and used that 3-4, seem to have more action from the linebackers blitzing. Oakland doesn't seem to do that as much.
That's true. They really don't. They seem to kind of stay in their areas. But that Monty Johnson is somewhere around the football every time you look up. 2nd and 8 at the 22. Again, the I formation. Dowdy wide left, Scott the other way. Waiting for the takeaway by Jones. He's a long count, maybe audibilizing. Takes the handoff, rolls back, sets up the throw. Looks to find a receiver. Drills his pass. Caught by Freddie Scott and out of bounds near midfield. To Freddie Scott. That'll be his 3rd completion now for Burt.
Again, Burt turned as if he was going to throw left and came back right diagonally across the field. And he threw it over the linebacker and in front of the defensive back to Freddie Scott, who'd broken open.
At the 49-yard line, 1st down, Baltimore. Time 6:29 in the first half of 7-7 tie. Out of the I formation, Jones yanks it away, hands to Lydell to the right side, and he slips 1 tackle and takes 2 more steps and is knocked down around the Oakland 47-yard line. Jeff Barnes is the man who finished the job. He spotted at almost at the Oakland Raider 46-yard line. Let's call that a gain of about 4 yards. 2nd down and 6, Baltimore. 46 of Oakland. Clock rolling moving right along. The Raiders and the Colts playing in the first of the series of playoff games in the AFC and playing it in championship style, you must admit. Second down, 6, Baltimore in possession, Oakland 46. Jones turns, gives to Lydell to the left side, hit coming into the hole and taken down by Otis Sistrunk, and he is just about to the 43-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Let's see, when they mark that ball, it might be even closer to the 44, which would make it about 3rd down and 3 for the Baltimore Colts, near the Raider 44-yard line. Bonnie Johnson looking to the sideline to get the defensive alignment. Don McCauley comes into the Baltimore Colt huddle, and Roosevelt Leaks usually departs and has. So it's McCauley and Lydell Mitchell running backs. Freddie Scott wide left, wide right. Is Glenn Dowdy, 3rd down, 3 at the Raider 44. Takeaway by Jones, a shallow drop looking to throw, sets up, runs away from pressure. Jones is running to the 40 and is down to the Oakland 35-yard line. 1st down, Baltimore.
He ran it like a quarterback draw. Of course, it wasn't. He just didn't have anybody to throw it to and stepped up in the pocket and then ran through the pocket and out of there for 8 yards and a first.
First down, Baltimore at the Raider 35, and that stadium now beginning to get a little bit more excited as they anticipate the Baltimore Colt drive that started on their own 20, now at the Raider 35 in a 7-7 tie with 4 minutes, 32 seconds remaining in the first half. Scott is wide left, Dowdy wide right. Lydell Mitchell and Roosevelt Leaks, the running backs behind Jones in motion. Dowdy to his own backfield. Pitch back to Roosevelt Leaks, a sweep to the right side. Ted Hendricks stops him, and down he goes at about the 33. Hendricks really couldn't pull him down. Roosevelt kept going until Matuzak got there. John, that is. And they're spotting it somewhere around, well, let's call it the 34-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and a short 8 for the Baltimore Colts near the Raider 34. Kind of surprising to see so much activity from Roosevelt Leaks, and what a job he has done with it so far. Dowdy wide to the right. The other way is Freddie Scott. In a standard pro set, shoulder to shoulder now, Lydell and Roosevelt Leaks. 2nd down and about 8 near the Raider 34. Takeaway by Jones, no fake, wants to throw. Sets, fires down the middle, incomplete. Intending for Raymond Chester. Chester had a shot at it, couldn't hold on. It caromed off his hands, and it's an incomplete forward pass. 3rd down, 8, Baltimore near the Raider 34.
That ball should have been caught. It was one of Jones' better passes today. He hadn't thrown too many good ones. And Raymond was up, and it hit him in his hands. It wasn't even fully extended, and just didn't hold on. So it's that short 8 to go on 3rd, and he'll surely throw here as McCauley is in the game to run out of the backfield.
And we have Toomey to be the 4th down lineman for the Raiders. They'll rush 4 men in this rather obvious passing down. McCauley and Lydell Mitchell in a split backfield behind Burt Jones. 3rd and 8 from the 34 of the Raiders. Back to throw goes Burt. Setting up, pressure coming in the pocket. He throws it to Don McCauley to the Raider 25. To about the Raider 26 to 21-yard line goes McCauley. 1st down, Baltimore near the Raider 21. Willie Brown took him out of bounds.
Well, I have to admit that I watched McCauley all the way on that play, and he blocked, and then he hung in there for a minute, and then went a little bit of a head fake toward the middle, and he broke outside, and he had the linebacker chasing him, and there wasn't any way he was going to get him. Boyd Rice, and he beat him for the 1st down at the 21. 22.
1st down, Baltimore near the Raider 21-yard line. Standard pro set backfield. Roosevelt Leaks, Lydell Mitchell. Jones yanks it away, gives to Roosevelt off the right side, makes a turn, gets hit, backs forward for another yard or two down around the Oakland 17-yard line. Roosevelt got stood up at about the 20, and with his back toward the goal line, backpedaled for another yard or two. Matuzak came over to help on the tackle, and we'll spot the ball near Oakland 17-yard line. 2nd down and 6, Baltimore at that spot. 3 minutes, 5 seconds remaining. Oakland 7, Baltimore 7. Under absolutely ideal weather conditions, a fast track in Baltimore this afternoon. Dowdy wide right, Scott wide left. Lydell Mitchell, Roosevelt Leaks on a 2nd and 6 at the Raiders 17. Waiting for the takeaway, Jones gives to his back Leaks, and he gets hit in the backfield and taken down for a loss back around the 19-yard line by Jeff Barnes, a blitzing linebacker. Barnes came rifling in and hit Roosevelt for a loss back to the 19. 3rd down and 8, Baltimore at that spot.
He just had him leaning the wrong way. And tipped him with his forearm. Really good play by Barnes.
They dropped the fourth linebacker, Hall, and they add the fourth defensive lineman, Tumay. On a 3rd down, 8, Baltimore at the Raider 19. Dowdy wide right, wide left, Freddie Scott. Don McCauley, Lydell Mitchell, running backs behind quarterback Jones. Takeaway by Jones, a straight drop, wants to throw. Pretty good throws. It is going to be intercepted and then dropped. Incomplete. Forward pass, number 32, Jack Tatum. Looked like he had it, never controlled it, dropped the football at the 5-yard line. So the Colts are still alive with a 4th down and 8 at the Raider 19.
That's just a slant into Dowdy, who just never got there. Jack Tatum, that free safety, came over. The guy playing the corner was playing Dowdy. He had him beaten, but Tatum had the ball and dropped it. Now we have a field goal. That could be a big play as this game goes down
really
to the finish.
could.
That fact that Tatum did not intercept with 2 minutes left in the half.
And a look at the replay shows that he really never did have control. Bill Troop will be the holder. Linhart the kicker. From the 26-yard line, a 36-yard field goal attempt by Linhart to break a 7-7 tie. Waiting for the snap. There it is. Spot. Kick. On the way. And we'll let you know in a minute. It is good. 36-yard field goal by Linhart. Kind of hung up there for quite a while, but there is the 2-minute warning. And we'll be back in 70 seconds.
You really get more at a Ford dealer. That's no surprise. You really get more at a Ford dealer. The better idea, guys.
There's a lot going on at your Ford dealer. An exciting new era of better ideas for 1978. Better ideas like the new Ford Fairmont, designed for today and the years ahead. Or Fiesta, the sporty new Ford imported from Germany. Or the classic styling of Granada. Take a good look at the 6-passenger comfort of Ford LTD or LTD2, the trim, sporty midsize. And if you want to go trucking, Ford trucks are built tough all over. Hurry! See what all the excitement is about at your Ford dealer. See why they call them the Better Idea Guys.
You really get more at a Ford dealer. That's no surprise. You really get more at a Ford dealer. The Better Idea Guys.
If you have something to sell, swap, or trade, tune to the Swap Shop, 9:05 in the morning, Monday through Friday. This is WAMD, Aberdeen. Well, the Baltimore Colts have broken the 7-7 tie. They lead 10-7 on a 36-yard field goal by Tony Linhart, and are now ready to kick it off. Carl Garrett waiting down on the goal line, and along with him is Hubert Ginn. Linhart's field goal, 36 yards away, just kind of, well, not really popped up. It was a perfect field goal, but it just seemed to hang up there for quite a little while. And we waited and waited, and it was long enough to carry to put the Colts in front 10-7. And Vince, the Raiders and the Colts are playing the way championship teams should play.
Really good game. It's been a game pretty much free of mistakes. There have been many mistakes. Well played, clean game.
And a hard-hitting game.
Hard-hitting game, yeah.
Right. Linhart will kick it off. Garrett waiting inside the 5, and along with him is Hubert Ginn. Linhart approaching the football, hits it at the 35, a line drive kick. Carl Garrett has it at the Oakland 7, 10, 15. Now the 20 to the 25 to the 30, and is hit and taken down at about the 35-yard line. Boy, how the specialty teams of the Raiders do operate. Jimmy Kennedy gets tackle credit. Oakland first down at their own 35.
Now we'll see one of the masters, John. You're talking about John Unitas, Chuck, moving a team with 2 minutes to go, and Greasy is certainly a master at it these days. But I think this is as good a man as there is in the game today, and it's fighting the clock, Ken Stabler.
Well, I'll tell you, the Colts have not been able to put too much pressure on Stabler so far today. He's got Davis and Van Egan as running backs behind him. Biletnikoff wide right, Branch the other way. The Snake is back to throw. Sets up, fires. Right into the middle of the Biletnikoff in midfield at the 50, down to the Baltimore Colts. 43-yard line goes Biletnikoff. Let's make that Davis, not Biletnikoff. Davis, the back out of the backfield.
First and 10, Oakland.
And the Raiders have a first down at the Baltimore Colts 43-yard line.
21-yard gain on first down, and they're moving it.
And again, Stabler has them on the football. Yanks it away without a fake. He's back to throw. Fakes one, steps up in the pocket, fires. Incomplete, intending for Branch. Branch never got he got a hand on it, couldn't hold on to it. And the Colts did get a little more pressure on Stabler that time.
They're trying to loop. They'll take alternate routes getting to the quarterback. In other words, Ehrman and Dutton, for example, will switch positions in their route to the quarterback, and then they're throwing a linebacker blitzing, and you can get some people coming. But Oakland does a great job of picking up the blitzers, or the loopers.
Well, Mike Ciani is in the ball game now. Branch, Ciani, Biletnikoff, and Van Egan is the only man behind the quarterback, Stabler. 2nd and 10 at the Colts 43. Takeaway. Stabler back to throw. Pressure coming. Has time. Lobs the pass. Waiting for it is Biletnikoff, and he goes out of bounds at the 30-yard line. A rainbow pass right on the money to Biletnikoff at the Colts 30-yard line, where he goes out of bounds.
Incredible routes they run. Biletnikoff, you look at the rerun, just loping down the field. Running straight toward the flag and then stopping, coming back, and caught it easily.
At the Baltimore Colts 30-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Raiders.
1:12, and the Raiders have 3 timeouts left, and that's not even a factor, that clock.
And Davis and Van Egan, the running backs, behind the Stabler. Double flankers to the right side. Waiting for the takeaway. Here's the gift to Van Egan, hit by Joe Ehrman and down to the line of scrimmage, and maybe he lost a yard.
What a good play. Penalty on the play. Marker in the defensive backfield, the right corner.
Holding against Oakland.
Oh, take the yards.
Holding against Oakland, that is the indication, and you better believe Joe Ehrman and that gang of his will take the real estate.
Now, that's an unusual call, because that's the same kind of call we had before. Twice in this game, they've called holding on the defense on a running play, which you don't see very often. I mean, who could the guy, on a play that opened that quick, how could he have gotten back there to hold anybody? So
holding, number 87, offense, still first down.
Well, Casper holds, and now it's back at the 40-yard line. Still a first down. First down and 20. Casper was holding. That's a very unusual call, and we've had 2 of those today. That'll be interesting to find out a little bit more about it. Biletnikoff and Ciani are wide to the right side of the set. Branch the other way. First down and 20. Stabler yanks it away, wants to throw. He's back very deep. Has time. Lobs over the middle of Van Egan. Van Egan to the Baltimore 30. Inside to the 25 goes Van Egan, and maybe beyond that.
Now we have 52 left. A lot of time to throw the ball for Stabler. Oakland takes the timeout. And 52 seconds.
They spot the football around the Baltimore Colts 23-yard line, where it is 2nd down and about 3 now for the Oakland Raiders near the Colts 23.
I think
52 seconds. Yes, sir.
Chuck, I think Baltimore is so protect the goal line conscious that those short passes, especially to the backs, he threw it one time to Davis, now this time to Van Egan. They're very vulnerable to that because they're backing up, recognizing that Branch and Biletnikoff and even Casper, who hasn't been thrown to yet, can get open deep and get you 6 points real fast.
Well, I'm certain that's part of their defensive thinking, Vince, that they would, if they had to make a choice between who's going to catch the football, they would rather the backs catch the football than Biletnikoff and Branch and Casper and those kind of fellows who can really burn you. And in the ball game now, Ciani.
And they're putting such a hard rush on Stabler, although they're not really getting to him. It doesn't leave many people to protect that middle range area. So Stan White has come to the side for a discussion with Maxie Bond, the linebacker coach. These are really the key people in this kind of a situation. Linebackers who have to protect and help out back deep, but can't give up too much in front of themselves either.
When play is resumed, Oakland in possession at the Baltimore Colts, just midway between 23-24. 52 seconds on the clock. Colts 10, Raiders 7. And Stabler has had a conference with Big John Madden, who was quite an offensive tackle in his collegiate days, and I think he had 1 season in the National Football League, and a knee injury really ruined him. But what a job he has done coaching the Raiders, like the Colt head coach, Mark Chabrota. 2nd and 3 now at the 23-yard line of Baltimore. Standard throw set, Van Egan and Davis behind Stabler. Takeaway by the Snake, gives to Davis, right side, and he is hit and held up. Fumble! And the Colts have got the football.
Midair.
John Dutton picked it out of midair.
kind of things that can turn a game and win a game. Oakland in position to kick a field goal if they didn't score a touchdown. Inside the last minute, Baltimore played the run very well, punched the ball loose, and John Dutton suddenly became a ball carrier.
Davis, the runner, headed off the right side. Oakland normally likes to run off the other side. They came off the right side. The ball popped up in the air, and Dutton picked it right out of midair. Baltimore shows the standard throw set. 45 seconds remaining in the first half. Jones gives to Lydell to the right side. Hurdles over a would-be tackler, and Sistrunk yanks him down around the 30. And Willie Hall also in on the tackle. They spotted at the 30-yard line. Second down and 5, Baltimore at the Baltimore 30-yard line.
Somebody take a timeout. Baltimore obviously, they're letting the clock run with 24 seconds.
Letting it run off. Freddie Scott comes out wide to the left side. The other way it's Dowdy, Roosevelt Leaks, and Lydell Mitchell are the running backs behind Jones. 14 seconds now. Jones with a long count turns to Lydell to the right side. He just takes himself into a, no hole at all, and is dropped for no gain, and the Colts now run out the clock. That's it. That's the end of the first half, with the Colts leading 10-7. Halftime at Memorial Stadium, and the second half just about ready to get underway between the Baltimore Colts and the Oakland Raiders. And at the end of the first half, Baltimore leading by a count of 10-7. Sellout crowd in Baltimore. Absolutely perfect weather conditions. And the Colts closed out the first half with a lead. There are some football fans around the free state of Maryland who will suggest to you, and they're not altogether completely facetiously, that the Baltimore Colts should always be trailing at the end of the first half because they have had some better than average second half comebacks. Well, they go into this playoff game leading 10-7 in the second half. This afternoon's NFL playoff opener is being heard around the world on 300 stations of the American Forces Network. Total net yards for Oakland, 205. For the Baltimore Colts, 106. Net yards passing Oakland, 118. Baltimore, 14. And now the kickoff. Oakland kicking off to Baltimore, waiting down on the goal line, Marshall Johnson. Well, the kickoff is kind of missed. Blackwood takes it to the Baltimore 20, 25, 30, and is hit and held at about the 33-yard line. The Colts have reasonably good field position at their own 33. The tackle credit goes to Rod Martin of the Oakland A's, the Oakland Raiders. The Oakland A's, incidentally, we were talking about earlier today with people from Oakland, the newspaper people, as to whether or not baseball-wise that thing is going to move to Denver, and to a man, they say definitely it is going to go to Denver. Well, the Colts have the football. First and 10 at their own 33-yard line. Leaks and Lydell Mitchell, the running backs behind. Quarterback Jones, the gives to Lydell. He starts to the right side, makes a turn, and is hit crossing the 35-yard line and held at about the 37 by Floyd Rice, the linebacker on that side. And Vince, the temperature at the second half is 51 degrees.
I've played or seen World Series in cooler days, Charles.
How true.
So it's a great day, the day before Christmas. The business of going to Denver. This team in blue would like to go to Denver. So would the other outfit.
Second down and 6, Baltimore at their own 37. I formation, Leaks the lead back. The second back is Lydell Mitchell. Scott wide to the right side, down to the left side. The give goes to Lydell. Hit and taken by linebacker number 52, and that is Floyd Rice again. Popped through in the backfield and stopped Lydell before he got back to the line of scrimmage. So Baltimore shows third down and 6 near their own 37.
That was that old Redskins Larry Brown type of play where you give the ball to the back deep behind the line, maybe 5 yards behind the scrimmage line. He has to make up 5 yards before he gets to the scrimmage line, but he has the option of holes to run. If one hole is blocked, he can bounce off and go to another one. Lydell does that well, but Colts usually give more of a quicker handoff closer to the line.
Dowdy wide right, Freddie Scott wide left, split in the backfield, no man behind the quarterback. Third down and 6 for the Colts at their own 37. Jones yanks it away, rolls a little bit left, now sets up, fires over the middle, incomplete. Trying to get Don McCauley around the 45-yard line, may have led him just a little bit too much. The Colts now will come up with a fourth down and 6 at their own 37, and Willie Hall, the linebacker, really put pressure on Burt Jones and gave him a pretty good belt as he released the pass. Baltimore's David Lee will be on field to punt, and as they have done without exception today, the Raiders will rush 10 men and leave the running and the returning to one of the most brilliant return men in the league, Neil Colsey. He's down around the Raider 28-yard line waiting for David Lee's punt. And they jump around a little bit. Here comes the snap. Penalty flag drop. A booming, spiraling punt. Colsey is coming to it along the Raider 27. He ducks 2 tacklers and then is spun off his feet at about the 28-yard line. Wade Griffin got down there to help on the tackle along with Bob Van Dyne. And a penalty flag dropped along the line of scrimmage. Whether the Raiders jumped off or drawn off is something the officials will decide, and apparently illegal motion against Baltimore. So the punt will be nullified, and Colsey will have a chance to return again.
Yeah, they want to come back. Anytime you can force them to kick it over again. When you don't get any more of a return than they got on the last one, they'd certainly want to take it over.
When you have a return man like Colsey, you most definitely.
Illegal motion, number 30, offense, still 4th down.
Doug Nettles
was the man that was guilty, and he approaches the official, and the official said, yes, sir. He wanted to know what it was that happened, and the official told him, and we're ready to go. Punting it again, David Lee, again Colsey, again the 10-man rush from Oakland. Oakland had the ball around their own 28 after the punt, but now we'll have another try. Again, that big 10-man rush. They jump around, try to draw the Colts. The Colts waiting a long time. Forrest Blues snap. Here comes the punt. David Lee hits another high-hanging spiral deep downfield. Colsey at the Oakland 31. Hit, down he goes. Sanders Shivers. Sanders Shivers took him with the football and nailed him at about the 30-yard line. And Oakland goes to work from that spot.
Man, they wish they hadn't accepted the penalty. That's as good a play as Baltimore's special team has made all year, and that was an individual effort by Shivers, who broke through people and hit the ball carrier or receiver, Colsey, just as he caught the ball.
And now the Colts will have to defense against one of the smartest and one of the wisest tacticians in football in Kenny Stabler. Biletnikoff and Branch are wide to the right side of the set. Van Egan and Davis are running backs. Give to Van Egan off the left side. Hit in the middle of the hole and taken down after a yard, maybe 2, and it looked like it was Ed Simonini on top of the pile. Van Egan started a little bit to the left, came back to his right. They allow him forward progress about to the 32. 2nd and 8. At the Raider 32-yard line. Baltimore 10, the Raiders 7. Just starting the second half of play. 12:52 remaining in the third quarter. Biletnikoff wide to the right side. Cliff Branch goes the other way. Van Egan and Clarence Davis are the running back. Casper, the tight end, on the right end of the line. Stabler wants to throw. Set. Fires. Going for throw. Here is Branch, and it is going to be taken by Branch at the 30. He gets up and runs again and is out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. They mark it down in the grasp of the tackler at the Baltimore Colts 28, however. They went for the bomb for the first time today and hooked it up with Cliff Branch.
Incredible catch, Chuck. Nelson Muncie didn't see the ball coming down. He looked like a little bit of face masking because he wasn't looking for the ball. So the last minute he turned around and went up and just didn't get the Branch. Made a remarkable catch as he fell.
Championship teams do that. It is Raider ball. First down at the Baltimore 28. Wide to the right, Biletnikoff. Branch is wide to the left side. And Davis is a wing on the right side. The only man behind the quarterback is Van Egan. The takeaway, the gift to Van Egan off the left side. A big hole. He's down to the Baltimore 20 to the 15. Down to the Baltimore 10 goes Van Egan. Pile driving run by the former Red Raider in Blackwood comes up limping and is coming to the sideline. They're spotting it at about the 12-yard line. First down for the Raiders at the Baltimore Colts 12. 16-yard sweep by Van Egan. Wide to the left side, Branch. The other way, Biletnikoff. And again, the only man behind the quarterback is Van Egan. First down from the Baltimore 12. Takeaway, Stabler gives to Van Egan. Left side, same play. This time they stop him inside the 10 with Simonini making the tackle. He is right around the 9-yard line is Van Egan. Tim Baylor has gone in to replace Lyle Blackwood in the defensive backfield for the Colts. Blackwood came limping out with an injury to the right foot or ankle. They've spotted the ball just inside the 9-yard line. Pete Banaszak has come into the backfield replacing Van Egan. Second down and about 7 for the Oakland Raiders at the Baltimore Colts 9-yard line. Split backfield. Davis and Banaszak back to throw is Stabler. Plenty of time. Sets up. Plenty of time. Walks up. Throws. Touchdown Oakland. Dave Casper on the receiving end.
Gets all the time in the world to throw the ball. Stabler was never pressured. Actually threw it off the wrong foot, Chuck, I think, as he stepped up and let it go, and like a dart. And Casper's first catch of the day results in the go-ahead touchdown for Oakland.
Well, that offensive line, and we've heard a lot about it from the Oakland Raiders, they are not only big and strong, but very talented, and the Baltimore Colts backpack can just not get pressure on Stabler, and if you can't do that, you're going to be in for a tough day. Waiting for the point after touchdown by Arrowman. Still wait, snap, there's the spot, kick is in the air, looks okay, there are no penalty flags down, and there is a break in the action with the score. The Oakland Raiders 14, the Baltimore Colts 10. Well, Ray Guy will kick off the Oakland Raiders, who now lead 14-10. They went a total of 70 yards and 5 plays, culminated with a 9-yard touchdown pass from Stabler to Dave Casper. Here's Ray Guy kicking off high, not too deep. Coming up with the ball is Marshall Johnson, has it the Baltimore 15, now 20, 25, 30 in the open momentarily, 40, midfield, the race is on. Marshall Johnson to the Raider 20, to the 10, to the 5, score! Woo! Again, Marshall Johnson has just returned all the way to put the Colts back in front from about the 20-yard line. Linhart will try the point after touchdown. The spot, the kick, it's in the air. It looks good. It is good. And on one play, the Colts will come right back in front of Oakland with the score. The Baltimore Colts 17, the Oakland Raiders 14. There is a timeout. Baltimore Colts football continues in 70 seconds. Officially, Marshall Johnson is credited with an 87-yard touchdown return. The Colts are on top, 17-14, Memorial Stadium, Baltimore, and they are going wild. The last time a Colt returned a kickoff for a touchdown, it was Cotton Spire in 1973. They're on their feet. Linhart hits the football, line drive. Carl Garrett runs up to it, takes it at the Oakland 10, 15-20, 25, 30, and down he goes, crossing the 30-yard line. It might have been Wade Griffin again. I'm not at all sure.
I think you're right, that Wade Griffin.
The ball is going to be spotted at the Raider 33-yard line. Well, just when we said, Vince, if you don't get pressure on Stabler, you could be in for a long afternoon. Casper's touchdown catch put him in front. They kick off, and the Colts go right back in front. First down at the Raider 33. Biletnikoff wide right, Branch wide left. Van Egan and Davis. The give to Davis, left side. Jumps outside and is going to be run out of bounds around the 35-yard line. It looked like Stan White pursued and chased him out of bounds, maybe a step shy of the 35. Raiders 2nd and 8 are at their own 35.
Stan having an all-pro day. Nelson Muncie up to help, and also Simonetti, the middleman over there. You know, Chuck, of all the people in this Colts organization, you have to feel so good for Marshall Johnson, a young man who has just agonized through a year and a half of agony. That's what it's been with a terrible knee operation and then another one, and he wondered if he'd ever make it back to play again. He hadn't lost any of his speed, I'll tell you.
At the 35, 2nd and 8 now. Biletnikoff in motion back toward the Oakland Raiders set. The takeaway by Stabler. Penalty marker down. Stabler sets up, fires sideliner. Intercepted by Bruce Laird. Bruce Laird is intercepted in front of Dave Casper. Penalty flag is down. I think the penalty is against Oakland. Let's wait and see.
There was a bump.
I think Biletnikoff moved illegally downfield before the snap.
So Laird, what a play Laird made, Chuck. He came up and bumped Biletnikoff. We noticed as the play developed, he played Biletnikoff, came rushing up and bumped him. And I thought the call might have been for illegal use of the hands or something like that. But actually, Biletnikoff had moved a second before the snap. And then he retreated to make the interception.
Well, Biletnikoff was in motion toward the backfield and started downfield before the snap, I believe, was the penalty. First down, Baltimore at the Raiders' 40-yard line. In motion, Dowdy, the give to Lydell to the right side, a cut. He can't go anywhere and is down along the line of scrimmage. And along the Raider 40-yard line, Ted Hendricks is credited with the tackle. Down at the bottom of the pile, John Matuzak.
And the fans helping the quarterback. You can tell from the derisive cat calls. First down run. They want Jones to throw the ball.
I think maybe they felt that there was a little face masking in there because Lydell went down as if he was hit right up around the helmet. Don McCauley is now in, the lead back of the I formation. Lydell Mitchell behind him. Dowdy wide to the right, to the left, and the other way it's Scott. Jones now wants to throw. 2nd and 10, plenty of time. Blocked. And they fight for possession. Bob Pratt of Baltimore has got it. And Pratt takes it to about the 41-yard line of Oakland. Willie Hall may have blocked it, and they volleyballed it around, and before it hit the turf, Bob Pratt grabbed it and ran downfield to about the Oakland 42-yard line. What a weird series of plays we have seen. Pausing now for station identification. This is the Metro Media Baltimore Colts Football Network.
WKMD Aberdeen.
Third down and 12, Baltimore at the Raider 42-yard line. Freddie Scott wide left, Dowdy wide right. The offense hasn't scored a touchdown all day for the Colts. The defense has scored 2. Back to throw goes Burt Jones on 3rd and 12. Has protection, now runs out of it. Jones is running and is going to be hit and taken down by Sistrunk at midfield. Ken Huff is all over Sistrunk saying, wait a minute, you don't have to manhandle a quarterback. Just knock him out of bounds. But Jones is being pressured. His offensive line is not able to stem the rush of the defensive unit of the Oakland Raiders. Jones has not really had too much time to look around today, and his passing statistics reflect that.
Well, that time running out of the pocket to try to throw, he didn't want to dump the ball off. I guess maybe should have to avoid a 10-yard loss.
Well, David Lee will punt again. Oakland rushes 10 men. The lone safety downfield, Neil Colsey, waiting for Forrest Blue's snap. Here it comes. David Lee's punt. He blocked it. Blocked. Oakland has blocked it, and they're rushing for possession. And Oakland has got it. And down the far sideline, linebacker number 56, Jeff Barnes. And he is out of bounds around the 16-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. Lester Hayes may have blocked the punt. Barnes recovered. And that 10-man rush finally paid off for Oakland.
Oakland's playing like an infuriated bunch right now. A couple of people were in close enough to block it. Hayes happened to get it. As it came off the toe of David Lee.
At the 16-yard line, the Raiders are in possession. Baltimore 17-14, but this one looks like Oakland all of a sudden has got it all in gear. They're doing it defensively and offensively. Out of the pro set, the gift of Van Egan. Down the middle he goes, knocked off his spins around the Baltimore 12-yard line by Stan White. A gain of about 4, 2nd and 6. The Raiders near the Baltimore Colt 12.
Baltimore's had a couple of opportunities, even early in the game. The first series, they recovered a fumble inside the Oakland 50. They had the ball here with the interception by Laird around the 40, and just haven't been able to capitalize. The defense or teams have gotten them 2 scores.
Biletnikoff wide to the right side, Branch wide to the left, the standard pro set. Casper tight end left side of the line. They give it to Van Egan off the left side. He makes the turn and is knocked down at about the 10-yard line. John Dutton caved that play in. It's at about the Baltimore 10-yard line now. 3rd down and 4 for the Raiders. Pete Vanazak replaces Mark Van Egan in the Raider backfield. Time remaining 7:51 in the 3rd quarter. And it's Baltimore 17, the Raiders 14. The Raiders have just blocked a David Lee punt and recovered at the Baltimore 16. Barnes ran out of bounds after picking it up and advancing it. Now Branch and Biletnikoff are wide to the right side of the set. Takeaway by Stabler. He wants to throw. He sets, has plenty of time. Fakes once, lets it go into the end zone. Touchdown, Casper.
His hit as he threw. Incredible how Casper could come open and Stabler have that much time to throw the ball. and lobbed the ball at Casper. The ball had nothing on it, but it got there before anybody in a blue uniform could knock it down.
Stabler is, an incredibly good quarterback, but again, Vince, you've got to take your hand off to that offensive line, your hat off to that offensive line of the Oakland Raiders. They protect Stabler like I've not seen a quarterback protected in just a long, long time. Stabler's got time enough to sit down and read the Wall Street Journal, put it away, and pick out a receiver and then throw. And that is that offensive line there, just sensational. Here's the point after touchdown. It looks good from up here. It's good from down there. So there is a timeout now. With the score, the Oakland Raiders 21 and the Baltimore Colts 17.
A little science, a little magic. All this and more in the new Buicks at Boyle Buick. Stop in soon and see the complete line of 78 models. Boyle Buick, Route 24 in Abington, 3 miles south of Bel Air.
Well, a block punt, a 10-man rush. Lester Hayes blocked it. Barnes recovered, went out on the Colts 16, and 3 plays later, Mr. Stabler hits Casper for his second touchdown of the day, 21-17 Oakland. Ray Guy will kick off with 7:27 remaining in the third quarter. Marshall Johnson waiting down on the 5-yard line. On the other side, Doug Nettles, and on the near side to his left will be Don McCauley. Guy approaching the football. It's a line drive, floating knuckleball. Nettles fumbles it, recovers, fumbles it again, recovers at the 3. Now back upfield to the 10, to the 15, and it's going to be at about the 21-yard line before he is contained. So the Colts will go to work first down near their own 20-yard line, and the offensive unit today for Baltimore has just not been able to do the job.
Jones has thrown for only 43 yards with 5 completions. One big one got most of that. Mitchell's run for 54, Leaks for 35 yards, so that's not a lot of yards.
Ron Lee is in the ball game now, replacing Roosevelt Leaks. The Colts come to a standard pro set. Dowdy to the left side, Fred Scott to the right. Waiting for the takeaway by Burt Jones. He fakes, wants to throw, does. Dowdy bobbled it and then caught it and held on at the 40-yard line. I think that's Scott, not Dowdy. Freddie Scott bobbled it and then re-caught the football and had possession at the 40-yard line.
That's a great play because he was just
really
ripped by Monty Johnson after he caught the ball. He still had it up around his shoulder. How he ever held on to it, I don't know. He had it up between his helmet and his shoulder pads.
Freddie Scott just, I don't know whether it hit him on the shoulder pads or what happened, but it caromed up in the air and he re-grabbed it and then got some kind of a belt. First down at the 40. Jones out of the eye, fakes, rolls back to throw, has time, fires, down the middle, incomplete. Right out of the hands of Freddie Scott, all alone at the Raider 40-yard line. And Freddie is some kind of unhappy about that. Second and 10, Baltimore at the Colts 40-yard line. Jones had time time and hit his receiver who did not catch the ball.
Well, I think that's probably Freddie's the last memorable drop. Can't recall when he's dropped the ball. Jack Tatum had fallen down. That could have been a big play, Chuck. Ooh, Tatum had fallen down, the defender.
Out of the eye, Lee, the front man, Lydell, the second man. Dowdy wide to the right, the other way, Freddie Scott. Jones looks over the defense, yanks it away, fakes, rolls back to throw, sets up, half time, firing deep. Raymond Chester overthrown down around the 25-yard line, and Chester had double coverage. Skip Thomas among those guys back there defending against Raymond Chester. Jack Tatum also there, and a penalty flag dropped on the play. Holding Oakland. Holding penalty against Oakland.
So the Colts get 5 yards and gain a down. It will be first down at the 45. Rather than third and 10 back at the 40.
Illegal use of man. 37, defense, first down.
Well, they charge it to Lester Hayes. First down, Baltimore at their own 45. Their own 45, first down on the holding penalty against the Oakland Raiders. Standard pro set. Jones gives to Ron Lee to the right side. He manages a couple of yards near the Baltimore 47, where it'll be second down and 8 at that spot. 21-17, the Raiders lead the Colts. 6:17 remaining in the third quarter. And the Baltimore Colt offense has yet to put a touchdown on the board. An 87-yard kickoff return by Marshall Johnson. And a 61-yard return of a touchdown by Bruce Laird on an intercepted pass. Bruce has intercepted not one but two today. Second down and 8 from the 45 on the draw. Play action fake. Lobbed out the flat to Lydell Mitchell. Blockers. He's over midfield into Oakland territory. First down at about the Oakland 44-yard line. It's kind of a quick screen to Lydell. First down near the Raider 44. The tackle credit to Floyd Rice.
Nice mixture in this series. That little screen pass to the flaring halfback. Thrown the slant in to Fred Scott. Hit him for 20 yards. Another slant in missed, but they're mixing it up quite well this particular drive.
Standard pro set with a first down at the Raider 44. Jones takes away, bootlegs, comes out, Sistrunk missed him. Jones runs down to the 40 and is going to be hit at about the 35-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. It'll be right on the 35-yard line, shy of first down by about maybe 1 foot. And Monty Johnson is credited with the tackle, but Sistrunk had Jones dead to right and missed it.
Jones put the brakes on, and Manny's brakes failed him. So now we have a lot of latitude on second and short. What'll he do here? Go for the first, or maybe go for the end zone?
Second and about a yard. Oakland leading 21-17 in the third quarter with 4:39 remaining. Dowdy wide right. Freddie Scott the other way. Ron Lee and Lydell Mitchell behind Burt Jones. Jones yanks it away, wants to throw, fakes, and is going to be hit in his own backfield and taken down by linebacker Ted Hendricks.
Big play. That's a big play.
Ran right over the top of Ron Lee, did Hendricks. A tremendous loss back to the 45-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. A loss of 10, third and 11 now.
Ron Lee tried to block him out, but
you can't
handle him all the time.
You just can't do it every time is right. But that defensive unit fired up for Oakland, and the Colts offense trying to get on track have not been able to really put on the kind of an offensive show they're capable of this afternoon. Out of a split backfield, third down 11. Jones wants to throw a deep drop. He sets up. Look out, got hit as he released, and it's incomplete. Lydell Mitchell was the intended receiver down around the 30-yard line, and again, it was Pat Toomey, the fourth man in the rush, that came on and did the job on Jones, who was paying a terrible price this afternoon in an effort to get Baltimore's offensive unit in gear.
Lydell was wide open, Chuck, just overthrown. Had a first down, maybe more.
But if Jones were to have the time that Stabler's had to throw, it would be, but that's if. And again, you must give credit where it is due to the defensive play of the Oakland Raiders, and particularly to the offensive play of the Oakland Raiders line. Here's the snap to David Lee, 10-man rush. He hangs it up high. Neil Colsey is going to let it roll. They're trying to catch up to it. The 10, still racing. Forrest Blue can't get to it. It rolled into the end zone. Forrest Blue tried to get it, but it was in the end zone, and it'll be Raider ball at their own 20-yard line. And the Raiders will take over at their own 20, leading by a count of 21-17, with about 3 minutes and 55 seconds in the third quarter.
That third down play, second down play by Ted Hendricks is really a big play, and that's a chancy thing to do because it was 2nd and 1, and Jones, as we said, had a lot of options. He could go for the first down, he could throw the bomb, and he elected to do that. And Hendricks elected to blitz at that time. It was a perfect time. He threw him for a big loss, so instead of third down and short, it was then third down and long, and play didn't connect. The pass to Mitchell, and then they had a punt. So the game turns on little plays that maybe in the statistics don't look all that significant, but can really be the difference in winning or losing. Baltimore had moved it well from its own 20 to the Oakland 35, 2nd down and 1, and ended up having to kick it away.
Well, the Oakland Raiders offensive line has done a sensational job against the sack pack of the Colts. Stabler has thrown 18 times, completed 10 for 177 yards. Jones has thrown 16 times, completed 7 for 71 yards. First and 10 Raiders at their own 20, and right now the Colt defensive unit have got to really dig in and try to contain Mr. Stabler and company as they lead 21-17 here in the third quarter. Biletnikoff wide to the right, Branch wide to the left. They go to a double wing. The only man behind the quarterback then is Van Egan. The turn, the pitch, the give goes to Van Egan. Up the middle he comes, stood up at about the 23 and held right there.
This is a vital series, as you say. Have to hold them here because give them a 10-point lead, and then they're really tough to catch. 3, you can get them, or 4 points, you can get them, but more than a touchdown, it's tough. The Super Bowl champions,
Second down and 7 at the Raider 23. Branch and Biletnikoff wide to the right side. Casper, a tight end on the other side. The pitch back to Van Egan. A swing to the left side. Makes a cut and is written down at the 25-yard line. Racing over Joe Ehrman. Caught him from behind and knocked him down. And also helping was Ed Simonini. They're up to the 25 are the Raiders. A gain of 2. Third down and 5 at the Raider 25. And now that moment of truth.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's thrown to Casper twice. It's been 7 points each time. So here in a third possession type pass, will he go to him or Branch or Biletnikoff?
Here are the Raiders. Biletnikoff wide to the right. Branch wide to the left. Casper tight end, right end of the line. Davis and Van Egan are the running backs behind Stabler. Back to throw goes Stabler. He gets up by Mark Barnes. Throws upfield. Caught by Biletnikoff and down at the 43-yard line. Mike Barnes missed him. Had a shot at Stabler and missed him completely. Bruce Laird made the tackle. And the Oakland Raiders jump out of the box with a first down at the Raider 43. Gain of 18 yards on the play. First down, Oakland at their own 43. Branch wide left, wide right, Biletnikoff. I'll tell you, that guy looks like he comes up out of a hole in the field. He really just is open all of the time. To Van Egan, up the middle, daylight, up to the 50 in the Baltimore territory. To the Baltimore 45-yard line goes Van Egan, and Ed Simonini gets the tackle credit. And that will be enough for another Oakland first down.
Lyle Blackwood's out of the game for the rest of the day as an ankle injury. And Doug Nettles also has blurred vision, so that's the same kind of position. So it's up to Tim Baylor, and he hadn't seen this kind of pressure in his brief career.
Oakland first down at the Baltimore 45. Stabler yanks, gives it to Davis to the left side. He makes a bit of a cut and fights for a couple of yards. Lost the football. They pile on it at around the 42, and I don't know who's got it. We'll wait for the official's call, and he indicates, I believe, Oakland retained possession. At the Baltimore Colt 42, Gene Upshaw wrapped himself around it. Upshaw, 6'5", 255-pounder. Gain is to the 42. Second down and 7 for the Raiders at the Baltimore 42. Time remaining 1 minute and 4 in the third quarter. Oakland 21, Baltimore 17, and Oakland driving, starting on their own 20. A pass to Biletnikoff for 18, a run by Van Egan, and now second down and 7 from the 42. On the draw, it goes to Vanazak. Vanazak straight ahead is over the 40 to about the Baltimore 39. And Joe Ehrman made the tackle on Vanazak. Gain of 3 makes a third down and 4, and here we come again.
The most critical play in the game. Bankston comes in from the side. Branch goes out. It's a double tight end situation. Biletnikoff goes out. So now they're conning you into thinking they're going to run the ball, Chuck. Now watch what they do.
Third down and 4 at the Baltimore 39. Waiting for the takeaway on the snap to Stabler. He turns, gives it off to Vanazak, left side. I don't think he made it. He gets wiped out trying to swing off the left side somewhere around Baltimore's 38-yard line. He appears to be shy of the first down yardage. Joe Ehrman was there, among others. The referee has indicated fourth down. And he's got about a yard and a half or so. Fourth down. Let's call it fourth down at about 2. The ball resting around the Baltimore 37.
He's going for it.
And they are going to go for it in this third quarter. Well, we've got 1 second left. They'll not get the play off. That's the end of the third quarter with our score. Oakland 21, Baltimore 17.
Attention,
They could do anything. Stabler could throw the ball. This shows an awful lot of confidence. And in their defense, too, because if you don't make it, they've been holding Colts all day.
Vanazak and Davis are the running backs. 4th and 2, waiting for Stabler. Still waiting. He's a long call, trying to draw an offside. Still trying to draw an offside. Here's Davis in motion. Still counting is Stabler. Still counting. And still counting. And he still hasn't snapped. And I don't know how long they're going to give him. But apparently what he wanted to do was to run the timeout to give Guy more room to work with his punt. That's exactly what he did, Vince.
That is really weird, though, Chuck. What's the difference with Guy, whether he kicked it from the 50-yard line or the other team's 45? He's either going to kick it into the end zone or he's going going to angle it. Now, maybe there's a little more room to angle the ball here.
That's exactly right.
But that is really...
Well,
they've worked it out. I'm sure the computer has figured out that this is a good move.
Locally here in Baltimore, we heard Neil Eskridge suggest that very thing with Bracy and Donovan and fans before the ball game today. Now, that's exactly what Oakland did. Marshall Johnson is waiting for Raymond Guy's punt. Ray Guy, the punter. They assess the 5 yards to the 42. And now the Colts come on up with quite a few men near. The rush is on. Here comes Guy with his punt. Plenty of time. Angles it toward the end corner, and it's going to hit and go into the end zone and dead and a touchback. So the Colts will be in possession of the football at their own 20-yard line, trailing by a count of 21-17 with a lot of time remaining, 14 minutes and 52 seconds.
I think another thing, what they really want to do is try to get Baltimore to come off, try to get the first down. If he has to kick it 5 more yards, what's the difference? Because everything he kicks goes in the end zone.
That was the longest 30 seconds I can recall in a long time. I was afraid to take my eye off Stabler and take a look at the clock, but it just seemed like a long 30 seconds. Ron Lee, the lead back out of the I formation in front of Lydell Mitchell. Waiting for the takeaway by Jones. He fakes, wants to roll to his right and throw. Jones fires upfield. Dowdy catching out of bounds at the Colts 40-yard line. Dowdy made the grab and went out of bounds at the Colts 40. Lester Hayes covering on the play.
Lester was backing up, and Glenn made a real ambitious move down the field and then braked and broke to the sideline, and Jones threw it perfectly. 20 yards.
First down, Baltimore at the Baltimore 40. Jones had a very uncomfortable beginning to the football game. Matter of fact, he went 0 for 5 before he started to complete passes. And it could be, although it's hard to say, maybe that bad leg of Bird is giving him a little difficulty. To take away the fake, rolls back to throw, sets up, fires. Here is Lydell Mitchell. He can't hold on to it at midfield. Lydell Mitchell, the intended receiver, at about the 50-yard line. And it'll be an incomplete forward pass. The Colts 2nd and 10 now at their own 40. Covering was Lester Hayes. Jones injured his knee a week ago in the Patriots game.
Doesn't remember how he did it.
Can't remember how he did it, but it could possibly affect his throwing. Right? With a 2nd down and 10 at the Colts 40-yard line. Although I'll tell you, I've seen some good offensive lines, and the Colts certainly don't have to take a backseat to anybody in that department, but the Oakland Raiders have really shown me pass protection today. 2nd and 10, Jones back to throw. He sets, has a little time, drills his pass, knocked down and almost intercepted by number 52, Floyd Rice, who was right in the pattern, right in the passing lane. And Baltimore now shows 3rd and 10 at their own 40-yard line. Freddie Scott was the intended receiver. Jones had a little time this time to pick out a receiver, but the drop taken by the linebacker was absolutely perfect. He was right in the lane. The intended receiver was Freddie Scott. 3rd down and 10, Baltimore. Pat Toomey is in there now. They'll rush with 4 down linemen. Sistrunk moves to the outside of John Matuzak. Matuzak is the tackle. Sistrunk the offensive, or rather defensive left end. On 3rd and 10, here come the Colts. Jones takes it away and wants to throw. He sets, fires down the middle, caught by Lydell to the 40. Inside the 40 goes Lydell Mitchell. The ball at the Raider 39-yard line.
Lydell's taking himself out. He's not hurt. He may be winded a little bit, but coming out, and Don McCauley goes in to be in there with Ron Lee.
There's just no way a linebacker can handle Lydell one-on-one for, too long a time, and that is exactly what happened in that case. First down, Baltimore at the Raider 39. Wide to the left side goes Glenn Dowdy. The other way to the right side, Freddie Scott, Ron Lee, and Don McCauley, the running backs behind Jones, down and set. Jones yanks it away, gives it off to Ron Lee, swings around the right side, makes a cut. He's down around the Raider 20 or 31-yard line before being knocked out of bounds. A fine end sweep. Willie Hall, the linebacker, knocked him out of bounds.
Hit Kenny Huff, and I'll tell you who else blocked on the play. Freddie Scott, who's not built for blocking. And he accommodated or occupied that cornerback and kept him out of the play for a while to give Ron Lee a chance to make almost 9 yards. Now we get to 2nd and 1 again. Chuck at the same spot, the 30.
Dowdy wide right, Freddie Scott wide left, Ron Lee and Don McCauley setbacks behind Jones. 2nd down and about 2 near the 31. The takeaway, Jones gives it to McCauley. First down all the way down to the Raider 21. The tackle credit, Ed Hendricks.
McCauley's hurting too, Chuck. He's coming out. He's had a bad back, and he took a real belt from Ted Hendricks after he made about 9 yards. Good run by Don. And Lydell is back in the game.
First and 10 Baltimore now at the Raider 21-yard line. A lot of time remaining, 13 minutes plus. Raiders 21, Colts 17. Freddie Scott wide right, a slot inside him to the right side is Dowdy. Chester tight end, left end of the line. Ron Lee and Lydell Mitchell. The gift to Ron Lee off the right side. Slips through a hole, fights his way down near the 16-yard line before the big guy is taken down by, it looked like Hall again, the linebacker, and John Matuzak. They spotted at the 16, a gain of 5. Second down at 5, Baltimore at the Raiders 16.
Baltimore going into the closed end of the stadium here in the fourth period, which may be an advantage to the home team. They know it better than the other team.
Dowdy wide to the right side. Freddie Scott the other way. Chester tight end, right end of the line. Ron Lee, Lydell Mitchell behind Jones. And Oakland may have jumped off. They get to Lydell off the right side. Down around the 10-yard line goes Lydell. And a penalty flag has been dropped, and we'll wait for the official explanation on the play. I saw a little motion on the defensive line, but then again, he may have been drawn off, so we're not too sure of that. The forward progress is very close, Vince, to a first down.
Yeah, the move we saw was lateral. Let's see, here it is.
Offside, Oakland.
Dick Jurgensen, the referee's microphone is not working.
Or he forgets to turn it on.
Forgets to turn it on. I think that's the problem. Because our engineering crew would not let that happen.
Now they're talking to Jones about whether to take the yardage, the down, with second down and 5, and that was a preliminary signal. And now when Jones makes up his mind, I think they're going to measure. Jones will say, well, let's take a look at it. And if I can get a first down, that's the option that I will exercise.
Kind of be nice to get a first down outside the 10, because then you get another chance for a first down around the goal line if you get that close.
Well, they stretch it, and he appears to have the first down on the run. Now wait a minute. They haven't picked it up yet. It looks, I don't have that good an angle, but it appears that he has the first down.
So, with the ball at the 16.
64, defense, decoy.
Offside decline because of the first down run.
It's a matter of inches, and that business of getting another first down inside the 1-yard line really didn't enter into it. They can get it now or the other way. So it's the ball at the 11, first and 10.
Ron Lee and Lydell Mitchell running back behind Jones. First and 10 at the Raider 11-yard line. Both Scott and Dowdy are wide to the left side. Jones gives it to Lydell, swings to the right side, nowhere. Oh, those Raiders were all over him, led by Floyd Rice, the outside linebacker on that side, and Otis Sistrunk also there. And they knock him down at the 11-yard line. Second and 10 for the Colts at the Raider 11.
Okay, second and 10 from the 11.
This drive started back on the Colt 20-yard line with a pass to Dowdy to the Colt 40, a pass to Mitchell to the Raider 39, a McCauley run to the Raider 21, a Mitchell run to the Raider 11, and a second and 10 right now as the Colts are on the football. Freddie Scott wide left, wide right, Glenn Dowdy, Ron Lee, Lydell Mitchell, the running backs. Jones yanks it away, wants to throw, shallow drop, fires, and it's going to be penalty flag and maybe interference against Oakland on the goal line. The Colts may come up first and goal at the 1. Somebody turned Dowdy completely around.
And it might be called offensive interference.
Well, we'll know in a minute. We'll know in a minute whether it's offensive interference. Interference, Oakland.
Dowdy turned around, almost caught the ball on the carom. Oakland will, proving the amazing quickness of these guys, will double team when the ball is on its way and in the air.
Interference, number 37, defense, first down.
Lester Hayes is called.
Hayes is the man. 21-17, Oakland, Baltimore. First down at the Oakland 1-yard line. Ron Lee, Don McCauley are the running backs behind the quarterback, Burt Jones. Waiting for the takeaway. Jones gives the lead, left side. He didn't get it. Ron Lee tried the left side and didn't make it. And before second down comes up, we'll pause for station identification. This is the Metromedia Baltimore Colts Football Network.
Aberdeen.
Second down and goal. The ball about at the Raider 2-yard line. Dowdy wing to the right side. Chester and Kennedy the tight ends. McCauley and Ron Lee the running backs. Second down and goal. Jones yanks it away, gives to Ron Lee off the left side, and he is down at about the 1-yard line. He didn't get there. It'll be third down and goal, Baltimore. The ball near the Raider 1.
Check, they have moved an inch.
They have not been able to penetrate the goal line defense of the Raiders.
Trying to slant right and left. Quarterback sneak is possible. The ball is inside the 1, third and that much.
Yep. McCauley and Ron Lee are the running backs. Third down and goal at the Raider 1. Waiting for the takeaway. Jones turns, gives to McCauley, dives, and I don't know. He did not get there, apparently. He's still short of the final strike. And it is now fourth down and goal.
Got to go for it.
Around the Raider 1-yard line, and there are a couple of Raiders a little slow getting up, like John Matuzak. And there's still another one down there on the ground. It might be Sistrunk, I'm not sure. No, it's the linebacker, number 58, Monty Johnson.
Yeah, what a fantastic goal line stand. We had a first down at the 1-yard line. Have tried it right, then left, then right again. And looking to the bench, Colts waving back any suggestion that they try a field goal. Baltimore's taking a timeout here.
No, it's an injury timeout to Oakland, I believe.
But I just saw the official point toward Baltimore, and then I don't know why they would take a timeout, Chuck. With a man down, there's no need to take a timeout.
I haven't any idea unless they called for it before they were aware of the injury. 10 minutes and a half remaining in the ball game. 21-17, the Raiders lead.
Lonnie Johnson is the injured player, and
they're bringing a stretcher, I believe, on field. No, they're not either. We
asked John Madden about the physical. Is this as good a team as it was at the beginning of the year? And it's just problems like this. It can't be. Phil Villapiano hasn't played. They have had a number of disabling injuries. People who started the season, they were an outstanding, strong team at the beginning. Now they're still an outstanding, strong team, but not perhaps as strong because of injuries.
Well, Monty Johnson, certainly one of the most active and one of the most proficient linebackers that the Raiders have had on field today. I know in the first half of the ball game, I'd have to guess that he was very close to leading in tackles. And right now, they're still attending to the linebacker, Monty Johnson. The Colts, when they get the football again, will have a fourth down and goal just around the 1-yard line. And they have charged the timeout to Baltimore.
And, of course, coming up is a play that can lift the spirits or be tremendously demoralizing if Baltimore is not able to score. And on the other hand, a big lift to the Oakland club. Monty Johnson is up on his feet. Now, I don't know what his problem is, Chuck. A lot of attention. He's walking off the field, but...
Being assisted off the field, Monty Johnson and John Madden went right out there to look at his football player. And he seems to be moving, more or less under his own power.
Well, here's obviously the biggest play of the year so far. And I have a feeling we'll have a few more in the next 10 and a half minutes. Biggest plays of the year.
Well, I'll tell you, how'd you like to make this call, huh? Go ahead, you make the call. We'll try to tell you what happens. The ball is just about 1 yard away, right in front of the uprights. 21-17 Oakland. Here we go. Ron Lee and McCauley are still the running backs. Dowdy a wing to the right side. Jones has them down and set. Waiting for the snap. And Jones gives to Lee. He hurls straight ahead. Touchdown, Baltimore. Ron Lee has scored.
Boy, if he did, he made it by an inch. As he broke the plane, if that's a pane of glass, he may have broken it. But boy, was it close.
He went right up over the top, a la Don McCauley. And the minute he got up there, we saw the official, the linesman on the far side, come up with both hands, indicating touchdown.
And Baltimore's taken the lead, 23-21. Look at the rerun.
Well, you take a look at the rerun, you can see that he did have penetration even at the angle we're looking at.
He did.
So Baltimore now has gone in front, 23-21. The Raiders and the Colts are really putting it on this afternoon in Baltimore. Snap, spot, kick, in the air, good. the score, the Baltimore Colts 24, the Oakland Raiders 21. There is a timeout. Baltimore Colts football continues in 70 seconds.
Parts departments. Boyle Buick, Route 24 in Abington.
Well, with 10 minutes and 28 seconds on the stadium clock in Baltimore in the fourth quarter, it's now Baltimore 24, the Oakland Raiders 21. Vince will have to remember to ask a few questions about that unusual timeout with Monty Johnson injured, and the Colts still were charged with a timeout.
Didn't understand it.
Clarence Davis and Carl Garrett wait on the goal line. Linhart is up to hit the football. He hits it high and fairly deep. Carl Garrett waiting at the Oakland 4. Straight ahead over the 10, now 15, now 20, now 25, now 30. And Linhart is going to hold him up along the 40, and then he still fights for yardage and is finally taken down at about the 47-yard line. Garrett returned all the way to about the Raider 48-yard line. Howard Satterwhite finally shoved him out of bounds. I think a lot of the Colts assumed he was out of bounds back around the 35. Such was not the case.
I don't know whether the Oakland receiving team just blocks like better than most, but they're giving that ball up at midfield most of the time on kickoff.
Their teams are just great. Branch wide left, wide right is Biletnikoff. Davis and Van Egan. Stabler back to throw. He's set. Has time. Fires. Sideliner. Here comes Biletnikoff without a catch. He's trapped the ball at about the 45-yard line of the Baltimore Colts.
John Madden's coming up to help the official with his explanation of it, but that won't work, John.
I'll tell you, there aren't very many times I can see Biletnikoff within 5 yards of the football not making the catch.
Yeah. Well, I think he was harassed as he got the ball away. Stabler just didn't quite get enough on it. Chuck, the reason for the timeout, Bert had to call the timeout to come to the sideline to discuss the next play with the coach there.
Second and 10, the Raiders at their own split. Stabler back to throw. A fairly deep drop. One pump. Now time. Takes pumps again. Throws. Incomplete. Incomplete pass, and still Stabler has had all of the time in the world to throw the ball. Give the credit to the coverage men, the linebackers, and defensive backs. The ball was intended for Cliff Branch. It'll be third down and 10 at the Raider 47. The Raider receivers, Vince, really come back to the quarterback when he gets in trouble.
More than any team in football, I think you see that. Biletnikoff and Branch go down, run the route. Stabler's back there pumping and faking and looking for him. They'll come back and help him.
And Casper was wide open on the last play. Third and 10 at the Raider 47. Branch wide to this side. Biletnikoff wide the other way. Siani a slot right. Stabler back to throw. He sets up, has the fire to the back, coming out of the backfield. He's down to the 40-yard line of Baltimore, down to the 30. And inside the 30-yard line goes Mark Van Egan. Peeled out of the backfield and got right by a linebacker at about the 45-yard line. And Bruce Laird made the saving tackle inside the Baltimore 30. The Raiders again have come right out of that third down and 10 situation to a first down at the Baltimore 29.
Third down and 10, and they make 24. And Baltimore's worried about Branch and Biletnikoff, and a couple of times they've gone to the back, and that time to Van Egan for a big first down.
Wide right, Biletnikoff, the other way, Branch, and now they've got Davis, and Van Egan is running back. Stabler is back to throw again. He sets up, has time, going for broke. Here's Cliff Branch in the end zone, and it is a penalty flag. Branch was right there trying to get the ball and running into him, number 31, Nelson Muncie, interference, and it'll be first and goal for the Raiders at the 1-yard line.
So he had it at the other end of the field, and now right back as Muncie not looking at the ball as it was coming down, in effect was face guarding the receiver, and you can't do that. You can't shield his view of the ball with your hands if you're not looking for the ball.
Interference, number 31, defense, first down.
First and goal for the Raiders. Well, they said this was going to be a high-scoring affair this afternoon. Well, it's 24-21 and about to get a little deeper, I would suspect. All ready to go. And they got Banaszak in there alongside of Davis. Stabler turns, gives to Banaszak right side, and it's a touchdown, Oakland. Banaszak scores on the power thrust over the right side, and the Raiders jump in front again, 27-24. Time remaining 9 minutes plus.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure this out. 6:48 into the period. Baltimore scored at 4:32, so it took them just a little over 2 minutes to even that one up, or go ahead again.
And we'll watch the point after touchdown by Errol Morrow. Arrow man, rather, and we've got a little bit of a delay in the ball game. The holder, and that's David Hum, found something that was just kind of disturbing to him, and he asked the official to straighten it out. I think what they wanted was another football, and that's exactly the case. And I will watch Arrow man try the 28th point for the Oakland Raiders. Waiting for the set. Snap, set, kick in the air, looks okay. No penalty flags are down. So there's a break in the action. Let's pause now for this message. Well, we're all ready to go. Guy will kick it off. It took the Oakland Raiders 1 minute and 16 seconds to get the lead back. They lead it now 28-24, 9-12 remaining in the ball game. Marshall Johnson waiting down on the 5-yard line for Ray Guy's kick. Doug Nettles to his right, Don McCauley to his left. Guy gets the go-ahead from the official, and he approaches the ball straight on and really rockets a high end-over-end kick toward Marshall Johnson at the 2. He's straight ahead to the 10, now 15, now 20, outside, and it's going to be written out of bounds around the 26 or 7-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. It looks like Hubert Ginn may have been there to run him out, and Banaszak kind of shaken up a little bit on that kickoff recovery. Or kickoff coverage. Banaszak, an outstanding player in that department. As a matter of fact, the Oakland Raiders teams, their specialty teams, are really super. And it's not very often that you see what happened today, return for a touchdown on a kickoff by Marshall Johnson. Colt ball, first down at the Colts, 27. Ron Lee and Lydell Mitchell, the running backs behind Burt Jones. Takeaway by Burt, play action fake. He wants to throw, has a little time, down the middle. Chester open at the 45 to the Oakland 43.
And at the other end of the field, Burt Jones crawling in the dirt, trying to get up and finally making it. Boy, he's had a tough afternoon, Chuck. They've been leveling him as he lets it go.
They really have. They've been all over him. Every time he lets go of that football, he gets nailed. He has not had the time been afforded to him by Oakland's offensive line, affording Stabler.
Boy, he drilled that. He had great concentration as he drilled that one down to Raymond Chester.
First down, Baltimore, Raider 44. Time, 8:21. Score, Oakland 24. Make it 28 Oakland, 24 Baltimore. All ready to go. I formation. Lee, the lead back. The second back is Lydell. Take away the gift to no one. Play action fake. Jones sets up and dumps it off to Ron Lee at the 40, to the 35, to the 30, to the 27 or 28-yard line. He is out of bounds. Ron Lee, a little swing pass out of the backfield. Willie Brown drove him out. First down, Baltimore around the Oakland 28-yard line.
Check away the Raiders. Of course, the Raiders have been around since 1960, one of the charter members of that American Football League. And these are the kind of games, this second half has been the way they used to play.
Oh,
look at the 43-43 tie with the Boston Patriots back then. We used to carry those games on the TV station, and it was like up and down the field.
First down at the Oakland Raider 27. Jones yanks it away, gives to Ron Lee off the left side, ducks around. He has got a chance down to the 20, and on his feet at the 15, inside the 15, he goes out of bounds. Ron Lee is picked up another first down for the Colts on a sweep around the left end, and Dave Rowe finally knocked him out of bounds.
This is some sensational game. Regardless of which team wins it, the fans have been entertained and gotten money's worth out of this one.
What an afternoon of football the Raiders and the Colts are putting on in Baltimore before a sellout crowd. 28-24, Oakland leading, Colts are driving. Colts had 4 shots from the 1-yard line a moment ago and finally got it in on fourth down. Dowdy wide to the right side, Scott the other way. Lydell Mitchell and Ron Lee. The gift to Ron Lee off the left side, down the middle to the 5. Touchdown Lee!
Unbelievable.
The big guy, Ron Lee, 6'4", 228-pound, 2-year man from West Virginia. Catches, passes. Got a first down on his grab at the Raider 27. He swept the left end for another first down at the Raider 13, and then cut right down the gut from 13 yards out for a Colt touchdown. And Linhart will try the point after. Snap, kick. It's in the air, and the kick is good. So with timeout now, it is Baltimore 31, Oakland 28.
You really get more at a Ford dealer. That's the no surprise. You really get more at a Ford dealer. The better idea, guys.
There's a lot going on at your Ford dealer. An exciting new era of better ideas for 1978. Better ideas like the new Ford Fairmont, designed for today and the years ahead. Or Fiesta, the sporty new Ford imported from Germany. Or the classic styling of Granada. Take a good look at the 6-passenger comfort of Ford LTD or LTD2, the trim, sporty midsize. And if you want to go trucking, Ford trucks are built tough all over. Hurry, see what all the excitement is about at your Ford dealer. See why they call them the Better Idea Guys.
You really get more at a Ford dealer. That's no surprise. You really get more at a Ford dealer. The better idea, guys.
For music, news, weather, and sports, keep your dial set at 970 WAMD, Aberdeen.
Well, a lot of us sitting here in the booth have been trying to figure out how many lead changes we have had so far this afternoon. Now it's Baltimore 31-28 over the Oakland Raiders. And it comes out to, I think, 8 different lead changes so far with 7 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Clarence Davis and Carl Garrett, the return men, waiting at the goal line. And I'll tell you, they have some kind of return, Ben.
Yeah, I was going to say, Chuck, they don't stay at the goal line very long, though, do they? Oh, I'm telling you, the returns have been fantastic. Linhart more likely try to kick the ball into an area where they have to at least run to field it. To kick it down into the wings rather than straight down where Garrett, for example, can come up and catch it on the fly.
Davis and Garrett, a couple of fellows who can really fly. Down at the goal line waiting. Linhart waiting for the okay on the go-ahead. Tony swings that leg. Here comes the kickoff. High and deep toward Clarence Davis. About 2 yards in the end zone. He comes out with it up the near sideline to the 10. Along the 10, he's going to be hit and held at the 15-yard line by Ray Oldham. Oldham made the tackle. Tim Baylor was the guy who forced the play, and Oldham finished the job. Oakland now will go to work along their own 15-yard line, as opposed to the last time at their own 47.
Yeah, that's an excellent play by Oldham, but Tim Baylor really forced it.
He did.
Forcing the play into Oldham's tackle. Now we'll see the Snake with 7:45 left, trailing by 3, but they've changed hands, as Chuck said, 8 times this lead today.
360 yards for the Raiders, 272 for the Baltimore Colts. Wide open offensive football. Stabler gets to Van Egan off the left side. They shut the door on him. Penalty flag goes down as they stop him right along the line of scrimmage. And let's see what the penalty flag is all about. It appears to be going against Baltimore. Whether it's face masking or a holding penalty, I do not know. Stan White is really upset about the call. And apparently it's against Baltimore.
It is. It's definitely against Baltimore. If face mask would be the best thing that could happen to here, it would give them a first down. What the Colts would do would lose it down 5 yards. It's first down now inside the 20. And I think it's face mask.
Face mask, number 53.
Stan White. Stan White's had a terrific game. It's a first down, but all they really lose is the down. It would have been 2nd and 10. Now it's 1st and 10, and they gain, of course, 5 yards up at the 20.
All ready to go at the 20-yard line. Oakland on the football with Van Egan and Clarence Davis running back. Back to throw goes the Snake. Stabler sets up, has some time, fires. And it's going to be, I don't know whether it's caught or not. It's incomplete in front of the Colts bench, and I could not see. Clarence Davis, the intended receiver, did not hold on to the football.
Stan White got back and leaped up in front of Davis, maybe a couple of yards ahead of him, tried to deflect the ball, and may have obscured the vision of the receiver, Clarence Davis, who couldn't get to it. So here we get 2nd and 10. The Snake will put it up again, and Baltimore anticipates it, bringing in Oldham and bringing out Simonini.
All ready to go. Clarence Davis leads the backfield. And the replacement for him is Carl Garrett. Garrett and Van Egan, the running backs behind Stabler. He's back to throw again. He sets up, has time, fires a sideliner, and threw it away that time. And Freddie Cook got a shot at him as he let go of the ball. There are no penalty flags down. He just threw that one away deliberately. Did Stabler, and he took a pretty good hit while so doing.
It was a clean hit, though. He just kind of ran over him, or bumped into him as he let the ball go.
Mike Ciani is coming in now. So they'll have Branch and Blitnikoff and Ciani as wide receivers. 3rd and 10 at the 20. And Stabler, if at any time he's been absolutely brilliant, it's been on 3rd down.
And a lot of times going to backs on 3rd when they're looking for the other guy.
And they go to a spread formation. Stabler wants to throw. He sets up. Here's pressure coming. He runs out of it. Takes a second look and throws. It's going to be incomplete. He threw it away. He just dumped it off, threw it away. Blitnikoff was the intended receiver, but he'd have to come back 10 yards to get that ball.
He came back short of the first down anyway. So that's good pressure that forced him to throw it. Now Guy will kick it. That's the first time Guy's been under any pressure to punt the ball from his 5-yard line. Don't run into him, say the Colts rushers.
No, let this guy kick. He can really do it to you. Marshall Johnson is waiting down around the 30, 35-yard line. Back up a little bit, Marshall. Guy can really hammer that ball, and in situations like this, he'll show you something usually. We wait for the snap. Here it is. High snap, and he rockets it out of there, and Marshall is backpedaling. At the 28, he's got it. 35, 40, and down he goes at about the 44-yard line of the Colts. He came right straight ahead. And the Colts have the football. Pete Banaszak made the tackle. First down, Baltimore at their own 44.
He really kind of out-kicked the coverage, Chuck. Kicked it so far that Marshall could bring it back before he ran into resistance. Almost at the 44-yard line.
At the Colts 44. Jones has Lydell Mitchell and Ron Lee as running back. Dowdy wide right. The other way is Freddie Scott. Dowdy in motion toward the backfield. The handoff to Lydell off the right side. Nowhere. Man, he got hit by John Matuzak. Matuzak plugged the gap and made a solid shot on Lydell. Reaches down to help him up as John. And the ball is being spotted maybe a little bit behind the 44. Call it 2nd and 10 at the 44 for the Colts again.
Boy, that's when you make that kind of contact on Lydell, somebody was where they weren't supposed to be, blocking Matuzak. Lydell just doesn't get that many clean hits.
All ready to go. Dowdy this time wide left. Freddie Scott wide right. Lydell and Ron Lee the running back. Baltimore leading it. The takeaway by Jones, give to Ron Lee. Swings around the right side and gets pulled down by Matuzak again at about the 42-yard line, bringing up a 3rd down and 12 for the Colts at their own 42. Baltimore 31, the Raiders 28, 6 minutes, 21 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. Looks like Ron Lee may have gone outside rather than inside and was expected to go inside.
Well, it's the block of Coons. I don't know whether it's the case of Coons trying to ride Matuzak out or Matuzak handling Coons.
Wide right Dowdy, 3rd and 12. The other way, Freddie Scott. Lydell Mitchell, Ron McCauley, Don McCauley, the running back. Jones takes it away. Straight drop, pressure coming. Set, looks, going for broke. Dowdy trying to get to it, can't make the play. Incomplete forward pass, and Lester Hayes covered for the Oakland Raiders.
Good play.
Very good defensive play by Lester Hayes.
Come on, Glenn, get off the field so we can kick, because that was a good play.
How true. David Lee on field to punt, and again today we'll find another 10-man rush by the Oakland Raiders. Neil Colsey is back upfield at about the 20-yard line, waiting for David Lee's punt. If in truth David will punt it toward him or whether he'll kick it away, they are still going to rush 10 men, stunning in that front line, waiting for that snap. They've already blocked one on David Lee today. Here's the snap. Here comes the pressure. He got it away, end over end, and Neil Colsey watching it on the far sideline, hits at the 30 and bounces upfield and is going to be picked up by one of the Baltimore Colts, Darrell Luce, and he downs at about the Oakland Raiders 35-yard line, I believe, and Lee did not have any time at all to kick the football.
Well, he rushed it, and he's fortunate to get it out of there.
Steve Sylvester had great pressure on the kicker, David Lee.
Darrell Luce down it as it was bouncing back toward the Colts goal line, outside the 35-yard line. 5:40, and now we begin to look at the clock a little more.
Here comes the fake. Davis and Van Egan are the running backs. Branch wide left the other way. Blitnikoff back to throw. He has time. Plenty of time. Now fires upfield. It is going to be incomplete. I don't know who he was throwing it to. There were blue jerseys up there. Tim Baylor almost picked it off. Blitnikoff had time to look once, twice, pump a couple of times, and then still couldn't find anybody.
Chuck, he's only gone to branch deep once, and that was when he was at the close end. He was in the shallow position on the field. In other words, threw a bomb from the 30-yard line. I wonder if he can throw it long. I wonder if he. What about the arm? Whether there may be a hidden injury.
Well,
you're going to need it before this is over, it looks like.
They go to their spread formation, 2nd and 10 at the Raider 35. Stabler back to throw. He sets up, halftime, dumps over the middle. Incomplete. Broken up by Ray Oldham, intended for Cliff Grant.
Good play.
3rd down, 10, the Raiders. The Raider 35, and here comes that moment of truth once again.
Ray Oldham bumped and ran with Branch, and then came back to bat the ball down. That's a good play by Raymond. Ray Bob.
Well, Van Egan leads, and Banaszak comes in with a play for Stabler on 3rd and 10 at the Raider 35. 5 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. Baltimore 31. The Oakland Raiders 28. They go to their spread formation, only one man behind the quarterback. That's Banaszak. Stabler back to throw, sets up, runs out. They got him! They sacked him! Mike Barnes!
Well, I'll tell you, Barnes has been close so often, and any one of them deserve a sack because they put pressure in there, but it's just tough to catch up with them.
Well, the Colts defensive line just kept coming and coming and coming, and all day long the offensive line of the Raiders have held them out of there, but they just kept barreling in, and finally they have sacked Stabler, and Guy will punt again. There will be 3 safety men downfield. The deep man, Marshall Johnson, waiting at about the Baltimore 30-yard line, and this incredible punter will probably hit another one of those missiles. Great hang time and also great distance. Waiting for the snap. Perfect. Here comes the punt. He got it out of there. He fell down to Guy, but he wasn't touched, and Ray Oldham makes a fair catch at the 41-yard line of the Colts. We'll pause for station identification. This is the Metro Media Baltimore Colts Football Network.
WKMD, Aberdeen.
It is Colt ball, first down at the Colt 41-yard line. 5 minutes, 7 seconds. Baltimore 31, Oakland 28. Lydell Mitchell, Ron Lee of the running back. Dowdy wide to the right side. The other way, Freddie Scott. Waiting for the snap, the quarterback, Jones. He turns, gives to Lydell to the right side, and he was taken down at the line of scrimmage. He never got out of his own backfield. As a matter of fact, lost a yard. 2nd and 11, Baltimore at the 40-yard line. And that time it was Dave Rowe, the middle man of that 3, that did the job.
You know, there must be some safe pass patterns they can run or throw, because I'll tell you, they're going to just run out of time here. They're going to have to be giving the ball up with 3:45 to go unless they make a first and try to control that ball a little bit and move it a little bit by throwing it.
Same offensive set for Baltimore. 2nd and 11 about the 40-yard line. Jones maybe audibilizing, looking both ways. A long count turns, gives to Ron Lee out to the left side. He makes a turn and gets knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Willie Hall, the linebacker. And it's 3rd down now and 10 for Baltimore at the Baltimore 41. With 4 minutes, the Colts are running the football, and the Raiders are just pouring it to them.
That's right. There must be some people open, or of course, 3rd down now. I don't know what you do. You're going to come up to another situation. You're going to force Lee to kick under the rush.
If you're going to depend on your kicking game beating the other guy's kicking game against Oakland, your chances are not too good. They go to a split backfield. McCauley and Lydell behind Burt Jones. 3rd and 10. Jones is back to throw. Pressure coming. He rolls right, fakes once, runs to the right, and they're going to maybe catch him. No, he got a block, ran to the 40, 45-yard line, 46-yard line. Jones is down. He is short of first down yardage by considerable. Otis Sistrunk did the job on Burt Jones, and the Colts will have to kick it away again with a 4th down coming near their own 46-yard line. 4th and 5.
At least he ran some time off the clock, Chuck. 3:24, and now he's going to have to kick it with about 3:15.
Yeah, but
here they come.
Here comes another 10-man rush. Oakland has done that on every David Lee punt. Waiting for they've already blocked one of those punts today and scored as a result of it. Ready to go once again. The snap by Forrest Blue. Here comes the pressure. David Lee hits it high, end over end. Neil Colsey coming up to the 20. He's got it. Ladder along up to the 25, up to about the 30, and he is going to be taken down at about the 29 or 30-yard line. Looks like Sanders Shivers got there. The Raiders will go to work. 1st and 10 at the Raider 30-yard line. Time 2 minutes 55 seconds. Score Baltimore 31, Oakland 28, and the goosebumps are getting a little intense.
Oh, brother. Right yard, Charlie. And we'll see if the snake can throw long, because I think he's going to have to. The 30-yard line, 70 yards away from the go-ahead with 2:55 left.
He probably will go to the safety pass, the back coming out of the backfield. He's now in a standard pro set backfield. Davis and Van Egan behind. Stabler turns. He wants to throw in 1st down. Sets up in the pocket, fires. It is caught by Clarence Davis, the back, and he is taken down at about the 44-yard line of the Raiders. 1st down for the Raiders at that spot. Norm Thompson made the tackle with Ed Simonini, and he threw it to the back Davis coming out of the backfield.
Well, he's sure that's a possession type pass, and Stabler was not about to panic. A lot of time left, 2:35.
1st and 10, Oakland. The ball resting just shy of the Oakland 44. Bolitnikoff wide to the right, Branch wide to the left. Davis and Van Egan are the running back. Stabler wants to throw again. He's back into the pocket, sets up, fires, and it's going to be incomplete. It was a carom grab by Clarence Davis, covering on the play Ray Oldham. Raiders 2nd down and 10 now at their own 44. Time, well, still 2:17. We'll let you know when that 2-minute warning comes along. What a tremendously exciting, thrilling kind of a football game. The Raiders and the Colts have gone tearing up and down this field this afternoon with reckless abandon. 31 points on the board for the Baltimore Colts and 28 for the Raiders, and we still have better than 2 minutes to go. Banaszak replaces Van Egan in the Raider backfield with information from the sideline. So it's Banaszak and Davis. Branch is wide left, Bolitnikoff wide right, Stabler back to throw. He sets to find a receiver, takes another look, lobs it upfield. Here is Casper. He's got it at the Baltimore 15-yard line. Nelson Muncie made the tackle. Well, you were asking whether or not he could throw it deep. He hung it up in the air, and Casper ran under it.
He sure did, and he ran under it and caught it over. He's had an extremely difficult catch with 3 Colts around him, and we get to the 2-minute warning with Oakland inside the 15-yard line. The score, Baltimore 31, Oakland 28. There's a 2-minute warning. We'll be back in 70 seconds.
Good living when you stop working could depend on this message from Nationwide Insurance. As an employee or self-employed individual not covered under a qualified pension or profit-sharing plan, you could be eligible for an individual retirement account. The amount you set aside is tax-deferred. If you're now saving for retirement, or if you've been thinking about starting a plan for yourself, find out about the advantages of an individual retirement account. Call a Nationwide agent today. It could mean good living when you stop working.
See your local Nationwide agent, Ernest R. Sedir in Aberdeen, 272-5111. Banerjee Blevins Jr. in Bel Air, 838-5295.
The exciting new Fiesta, the Ford import from Germany, is at your local Ford dealers, Hinder Ford in Aberdeen. Fiesta, a small car with everything. Room for 4 adults, low upkeep, economy EPA ratings of 46 miles per gallon on the highway, 34 cities. Your mileage may vary depending on how and where you drive, car conditions, and options. Check it out yourself with a fun test drive, and do it soon at Hinder Ford, South Philadelphia Boulevard in Aberdeen.
He threw it maybe as far as he could throw it downfield, hoping one of his guys could run under it. Casper made an exceptional play, tracking the ball, and a beautiful running over-the-shoulder catch between Colts defenders, and it's 1st and 10 for the Raiders, just inside the Colts 15. Boy, I'll tell you, we've had, 8 changes in the lead so far, huh?
Right, Charles. Chance for 9 or 10.
2 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter.
Colts, Simonini is coming out and indicating that Baltimore expects the ball up in the air rather than running it. We'll see.
2 linebackers, 5 defensive backs, double coverage on Branch, wide left, the other way Bolitnikoff. Spread formation, Stabler fakes, gives to Banaszak inside the 10, and to about the 8-yard line goes Banaszak. The tackle made by Freddie Cook. And Stan White also in on the play. inside the Baltimore 10-yard line at about the 9 now.
So they ran right where that middle linebacker would be.
Second down and about 4 for the Raiders. They've got to get down to about the 4-yard line. Kickoff wide. They go to the spread formation. Banaszak, the only man behind Stabler, turns, fake, gives to Banaszak off the left side. Down about the 6-yard line he goes. Maybe to the 5 before he is gang tackled by Mike Barnes and his helpmates along the way. Just shy of the 5-yard line. It'll be third down. And about 2 yards from the 6.
So they get the double tight end, and Bankston comes in the game, and Clarence Davis replaces
Branch and Sienna go out. Ready to go. Bankston, one tight end. Katz for the other tight end. And they've got Banaszak and Clarence Davis. Third down and 2 at the Baltimore 6. Stabler yanks it away to Banaszak. Slipped and dove, and I don't know whether he's got it or not. He dove inside the 5, and I don't know whether he's got first down yardage or not. And we'll have to wait to see whether they'll need a measurement to determine whether Banaszak's dive picked up first down or whether they can call it without that. It appears to be a little bit shy as we look at it from here, but our angle is not as good as it needs to be. And then again, it's not our job to call it, is it?
That's what they're doing, Chuck. They're eating up this clock. This Baltimore, if they score, Baltimore's not going to have any time.
Absolutely right.
Back.
52 seconds remaining.
Stabler trying to bring
Any
him out
part
of
the football.
They didn't make it.
Missed it by about 8 or 10 inches.
Now what do? Do you try for the tie and go for the field goal? Or do you go for the first down that can win you the game here? It's important. Let me tell you something. Baltimore's played to the run well. Stabler's able to throw. This is the biggest play of the year.
Well, I'll tell you one thing they apparently are not going to do. They're not going to be satisfied with a field goal. They're not going to play the tie. They're going right out after it, are the Raiders. Fourth down at about 8 or 10 inches.
Clock running with 40 seconds.
Clock is running down to 39 seconds right now. They may just want to run the clock down and then decide.
That's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing. They're running it down to 29 seconds right now. Time has been called by Oakland. Stabler goes to the sideline, and let me tell you something. There are a lot of wise old heads in that Oakland uniform.
Yeah, absolutely. It's this organization from Al Davis on down through Madden to Stabler. They'd be the 3 people making decisions. And they know what they're doing, and they let that clock run from about 52 seconds when that other play ended down to 29 before they took a timeout. Now, the thing is that they want to score with no time left.
That's right.
Now, they have to, first of all, make a first down. They have to make a close to a foot. Baltimore's defense has played very well against the run, relatively speaking. They've stopped the stuff off the left side quite well. They might go another way. They may throw, try to get 6 right here. But now it looks like they're going for the field goal.
Looks like they will. Here comes man.
They're able to fake a field goal, these guys.
Well, I'll tell you, they are going to go for the field goal, and I'll tell you, what more could a fan ask for in a football game than what he has seen here this afternoon?
This is really
This will tie it up with 29 seconds. If he makes it.
And I think they probably had this in mind all along, Chuck, or else they wouldn't have let all that time run off the clock.
Well, I kind of think that's what they were thinking. We'll watch.
Tom is a quarterback, the holder. He's a left-handed passer.
True.
Played in Nebraska, so watch him.
The field goal will be kicked from about the 12. It'll be a 22-yard effort. Tom is the holder, and you better believe he can throw. He can also run a little bit, can David? Man, the field goal kicker has given every indication of wanting to kick the football. Down on one knee, waiting for the snap is David Hum. We wait for the snap. There it is. Spot. Kick. In the air. It looks good. No penalty markers down. And it is good. They have tied it up. 31. 26 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. And now we face the prospect of that overtime.
26 seconds left, and this is one of the great games that's ever been played here.
I'll tell you, the only bad feature about this kind of a football game, Vince, is that somebody has to lose it.
Right. Baltimore has a chance to win it, though. With 26 seconds left, they've run up and down the field the same as Oakland has in the second half, and there's still time to get a few plays off. First,
26 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Marshall Johnson waiting down around between the 5 and the 10-yard line.
Marshall come up the side so he can get out of bounds and stop the clock, I presume. He can't go as far as he can and then get out of bounds. But he's run one back 83 yards, so who knows?
Well, 26 seconds on the clock. Guy ready to kick off. Johnson waiting down on the 5-yard line. Guy swings the foot, hits a line drive, sailing knuckleball, bounces and is grabbed by Johnson at the 5, 10, 15. Now the 20, made a cut, 25, and rolled over and held at the 27. So the Colts will go to work first down at their own 27-yard line with 21 seconds remaining. Looking back, and of course, hindsight is always 20/20. You have to wonder about the Baltimore Colts series. The last time they had the football, first down at their own 41, and they ran rather than trying to throw, and were held to but 5 yards, and then had to punt it away. Lydell Mitchell and Ron Lee Jones is back to throw. He sets up, rolling to his right, looking for a receiver. Now dumps it upfield, and Lee catches it at the 30 and goes out of bounds at about the 31. And let's see where they mark that as 13 seconds on the clock at about the 32-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. Second and 5 coming with about 13 seconds on the clock.
Colts will have a flip of the coin, and then one team will get the ball, and if they can take it down the field, the other team doesn't get a chance to retaliate. It's not like baseball where you get the last Ike, as they get to call it.
All right.
That's right.
Dowdy coming out wide to the right. Freddie Scott the other way. A split in the backfield. Nobody behind Jones. Second and 5 of the Baltimore 32 with 13 seconds left. 31-31. Jones looking over the defense, yanks it away, gives to Lydell. He hits the middle, and Lydell is up to the 40 to about the 41-yard line. And we're running down to 6 seconds. 5 seconds, 4. The Colts are going to let it go. They can't do a thing about it. And the clock is going to run out. There goes the gun. That is not the end of the football game. That is the end of 4 quarters with the score. Oakland 31, Baltimore 31. Back with more in a minute. Off of the coin ceremony. Bankston will be downfield to call the toss. Here it is.
To call the toss. Call it in the air. Tails is called. Heads it is. Baltimore will receive.
Heads is the call by the fall of the coin is heads. Tails was the call of the toss by Bankston. The Colts have won the toss. They will take the football.
Well, that's a big break because, as we say, you get the ball, the other team doesn't get a chance to do anything with it if you score before they do. Remember that famous overtime game back in the American Football League? It was Houston against Dallas, and the fella made the wrong call. He said, "We'll take the goal." That was Abner Haynes back in the 60s. And when Oakland, some of these guys were playing then. And despite that, they came on to win, and Tommy Brooker kicked a field goal to win the game for Dallas. But they made the wrong call, and still they won. This time Baltimore got the call and hopes it can win.
Well, Bankston, who calls the toss of the coin, called it correctly in the opening of the ball game today. 15 out of his last 16 calls have been correct. He did not call it correctly in the overtime period. He called tails. The toss of the coin came up heads. The Colts then won the toss. Also elected to receive the football. Ray Guy will kick it off. Down on the goal line, it'll be Marshall Johnson, Doug Nettles, and Don McCauley.
I don't know how many this is for you, Chuck, but I'm sure it's your second overtime because we remember. Oh, this is the third?
Yes, sir. We had one in Green Bay because of
that's right.
An upright that was leaning a little bit.
Crooked field goal, and then, of course, the famous one in 58 when they won the first championship.
That's right.
Tom Davis and I had one in Denver in the exhibition. I don't think it ranks with yours.
I might lead the league in overtime period.
Excuse me, we have another. We're forgetting overtime with Tony Linhart. Kicked the field goal here and beat Miami. We forgot that.
That's exactly right.
So this is your fourth. Go get him, Charlie.
All right. Guy will kick it off. Boy, what an exhibition. What an afternoon of football. We thought the second half comeback against the Patriots was one of those stunning things that, a football fan might see only once in his lifetime, and then if he's very lucky. What about this battle this afternoon between the Oakland Raiders and the Baltimore Colts, going around the world in some 300 stations in the Armed Forces radio network? And 31-31, and we go to overtime. Ray Guy will kick it off. Johnson is deep. He has already come back with one kickoff today. 87 yards for a score. Ray Guy indicates he's ready. The official gives him the go-ahead, and we'll have the kickoff momentarily. Up on the football, Guy hits a line drive sailing kick. Don McCauley takes it to 15, 20, near side, 25, 30. Outside of the 35 and out of bounds goes Don McCauley. McCauley is out of bounds at about the 35-yard line of the Baltimore Colts.
Now you look for the control offense. Just move the ball. Just try to hold on to it. Of course, Baltimore hasn't moved it. In the second half, they moved it quite well, but they haven't moved it along the ground in the second half, and they'll put it up in the air now with the ball on their own 38-yard line.
Marked out at the Colt 38-yard line. Jones brings them out. Ron Lee, the lead back of the eye. Lydell Mitchell behind him. Dowdy wide right. Freddie Scott the other way. Jones turns, pitches back to Lydell. A swing to the right side. Makes a cut and got hit by the on-charging Lester Hayes and spun off his pins and down at about the 40-yard line. Boy, Hayes, the defensive back, made a super defensive play. Racing in, threw himself at Lydell, who tripped over him and came down at the 40.
Had to make the play because he hit 5 more yards if he didn't make the play.
It'll be second down, 8, Baltimore at the 40-yard line. The Baltimore 40-yard line. We are in overtime. The first team to score wins. Dowdy wide right, Scott wide left. Ron Lee and Lydell Mitchell behind Jones. Takeaway by Jones. Play action fake. Wants to throw. Fires. Sideliner. Caught by Dowdy and out of bounds. No, they say he was out of bounds. They say he was ruled out of bounds, so it's not a catch. And it's third down, 8 at the 40.
Sideline obliterated over there by the people standing up. It's tough for Dowdy to see it. Tough for defenders, too. Look at the official who made the right call.
Right on top of it was the official, and as they so often do, made the right call. Dowdy wide left this time. Freddie Scott the other way. Split in the backfield. Third down at 8. Baltimore at the 40-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. Jones yanks it away. Back to throw. Pressure coming. Even a blitz. Jones throws. Firing upfield. Raymond Chester overthrown at about the 30-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. And Jones just bows his head, hammers on the top of his helmet. He thought he had his man open, and he overthrew Raymond Chester. Fourth down, 8, Baltimore at the 40, and they will have to kick the ball to the Oakland Raiders, and here we go.
Boy, if that's not a touchdown, it's awful close. This bird can connect, but if.
Ifs and buts were candies and nuts. What a wonderful Christmas it could be, huh? 10-man rush again from Oakland. They blocked one today. The lone safety is Colsey, waiting for the snap from Forrest Blue. Here comes the snap, pressure coming. David Lee hits it high and hangs it up there. Colsey waiting down around the 22, comes upfield to the 25, and then is hit by Wade Griffin and held up at about the 27-yard line. The Raiders will have the football at that spot. There is a timeout. We will have more Baltimore Colts football in 70 seconds. Play resumed. They try a reverse to the wingback Davis, and Davis is smothered by the Baltimore Colts defense at the Raider 27-yard line. It is third down, 11 coming for the Raiders at their own 27. And here again, Vince Bagli comes at moment of truth with the snake with Ken Stabler.
Oakland looking a little conservative. Its first two running. They ran the ball twice. Now they have to throw it or run a draw, I guess.
Bolitnikoff and Branch are wide to the left side. A split in the backfield. Stabler back to throw, almost slipped. He sets up, runs up, fires, and it's going to be caught at about the 39-yard line of the Raiders by Cliff Branch.
Enough for a first.
It should be enough for a first down.
People all around Branch as he caught the ball, battling him for possession.
What a frustrating afternoon for the Colts sack pack. They have come so close to Stabler so many times, have the Colts, and they've been able to get him only once. They're measuring to see whether or not he has a first down. It's very, very close, and probably will be a first down, and it is. At the Raider 39, first down.
First team scores wins. Arrow man range on field goals. 42 yards, I think, is longest.
Well, you got to worry about a guy like Biletnikoff right now, or someone like Cliff Grant. First and 10 at the 39. They are down instead of the Raiders. Stabler gives to Van Egan up the middle, trip coming through the hole, and stood up at about the 42-yard line. Freddie Cook got a hand on him and held him up, and then the job was finished by John Dutton. A gain of about 3 will be second down 7, the Raiders, at the Raider 42. Overtime in Baltimore with 11:37 on the clock, rolling right along. They had a toss of the coin. The Raiders lost it. The Colts took the football, were unable to advance beyond their own 40, had to punt it to the Raiders, and here they come, second and 7 at their own 42. Stabler gives to Davis off the left side, made a cut nowhere. They like to run off that left side to the Raiders, and the Colts have plugged up that gap with Mike Barnes, Stan White, and a few other guys, Ed Simonini. The ball is spotted at the 42, and again we come to a third down and 7 for the Raiders at the Raider 42.
Simonini out and Oldham in.
And Ciani comes in, and Cliff Grant, or rather Clarence Davis, goes out.
Baltimore doesn't want to take too many chances blitzing because that opens up somebody, and Stabler picks it up. Possession pass, they need 7 yards here for a first.
8. Grant wide right, Ciani in a slot left with Biletnikoff. Stabler is back to throw. He's got a deep breath, fakes once, goes for throw, and they're racing for it, and it's going to be incomplete. Bruce Laird was there along with Mike Ciani, I believe, and the ball is on the turf at the 20-yard line, and there's not a penalty flag down. I can't see a penalty flag. If there's one dropped, I don't know where it is.
Flag as they headed downfield, there might have been interference. Yeah,
interference against Baltimore is the call, and where's the flag?
Outstanding flag.
I don't see it either. It's way over on the far side.
Number 40, defense, first down.
They call Bruce Laird. It'll give Oakland a first down of the Baltimore 33.
At the Colts 33-yard line, first down for the Raiders. Well, they did make plenty of contact down there. Stabler turns, gives to Van Egan down the middle of Banaszak, and Banaszak gets thrown maybe down to the 32. Joe Ehrman wrapped him up there. Second down, 9 coming for the Raiders near the Baltimore Colts 32. The first team that scores is the winner. 31-31 is the score. Grant coming out with Biletnikoff wide to the right side. Davis and Banaszak on the running backs, waiting for the takeaway. Stabler hands to Davis off the left side, made a cut nowhere. Mike Barnes wrapped him up, and somebody else down on the bottom of the pile. And that was Stan White.
Well, what a game Stan White has played.
They're going to spot the football around the Baltimore 32. That'll be third down. And about 8 now for the Raiders near the Baltimore 32. And I wonder what Stabler will come up with on this third down.
It'll be a long field goal if they don't connect here for the first down.
Well, Ciani slot right, Biletnikoff wide right, Branch wide left. Stabler says, time, Mr. Referee, Mr. Umpire. We cannot hear ourselves. So they ask the crowd to be a little quiet. Plus, they want a new ball. All ready to go. The Raiders are in their spread formation. Banaszak is the only man behind the quarterback, Stabler. Third down and 8 at the 32. Stabler wants to throw. He's back to set up. Pressure coming. They pick it up. Throws down the middle. Knocked down. Incomplete. Heading for Ciani. Tim Baylor got to it and broke it up.
Now on fourth down, here comes Errol Mann. They'll have to kick it from around the 39, be a 49-yard field goal. His longest is 42 yards.
Well, this one will...
Excuse me, Tucky, 5 for 8 from the 40 to the 49, but they're all 42 to 41.
And this will be kicked from about the 38-yard line, making it about a 48-yard field goal.
Errol Mann, 10 years in the league out of...
David Hum is the holder. be a 48-yard effort for Arrowman. Waiting for the snap. Still waiting. There it is. Spot. Swings blocked. It is blocked. And Bankston runs down to pick it up and advances it, but it's whistled dead. Baltimore will take over at the line of scrimmage, which was the 32.
Performance by this defensive line. You talk about the Oakland offensive line and everything that we've said has been true, but the Colts defensive line had to hold them there, had a range, and the kick is blocked. So let's pause for station identification. This is the Metro Media Baltimore Colts Football Network.
Well, it's kind of hard to ad-lib those things on the spot. 2nd and 7 to the Baltimore 33. Waiting for the takeaway. It's handed off to Ron Lee off the right side. He bangs it up to about the 37-yard line, maybe the 38. Willie Hall made the tackle. And that time they were firing that linebacker, Ted Hendricks.
He's coming from the left. So again, you hate to keep using the word big play, but what else can you call it? 3rd down and 4. Ball on the 37-yard line. You don't want to give the ball back.
Well, Barnes was given credit for blocking that field goal by Arrowman. He more or less kind of kicked it awfully low right into that line. Don McCauley is in there with Lydell Mitchell in a split backfield. 3rd down 4 at the Baltimore 37. Takeaway by Jones. Rolls back. Pressure coming. Ran out of it, did Burton. Ran out of another tackle. Looks upfield to find somebody and ran and is going to be out of bounds in front of the Oakland bench. He didn't come anywhere near 1st down yardage. And now it'll be punting situation, and I hope Jones is all right. I haven't seen him come up over there yet.
No, he's not. He hasn't come up, and the trainers are going over in front of the Oakland bench. He ran out of the immediate trouble and then was met by secondary people coming up to make the tackle. And they ripped him out of bounds.
Well, it's been something that's been going on all day long. Jones has not had, the serenity and quiet for passing, and he is really upset and holding his left shoulder and left arm as he comes to the sideline. But he is a hard-nosed youngster, is Burt Jones. And Colts trainer, it appears to be the ribs, perhaps on the left side rather than the shoulder or the arm. And it was just a really good, strong hit on the part of the Oakland defender to take him out of bounds. And that appeared to be number 58, Monty Johnson.
My God, thought he was through for the day, the way he staggered out of here.
Well, again, a 10-man rush. Neil Colsey will wait for it. Down around the Oakland 25-yard line. Baltimore should be getting pretty used to that 10-man rush by now. They've seen nothing but all day. Forrest Blue snap is fine. Here comes the pressure. They pick it up. David Lee hits a beautiful throwing punt. Colsey back to the 18, now 20. Along the 25 to the 30. Look out. He is hit and taken down by number 58, Darrell Luce at about the 33.
Great punt by Lee.
Boy, it really was. Raider ball, 1st down at the Raider 33. 7:25 on the clock in the overtime period. 31-31, Baltimore against the Raiders. And the winner of this gets to play the winner of the Denver Steeler game. Davis and Van Egan are the running backs, and back to throw goes Stabler. He sets up in the pocket, time, firing sideliner, incomplete. He intended it for Biletnikoff, and Norm Thompson was right there with him. And Biletnikoff is complaining to the official, that man bumped into me. Boy, what a fine pro Biletnikoff has been down through the years. Fellows like Biletnikoff and Howard Twilley and Jimmy Orr, Raymond Berry, those are the kind of receivers that were never blessed with great and blinding speed, but boy, how they catch the football.
I'd say you named 4 of the absolute greatest in that category, Chuck. And Madden just says the older Biletnikoff gets, and he's 34, the harder he works.
I guess maybe there are some others, but at the moment they won't come to mind. Here's Stabler on the draw. He gets it off to a back who is smothered by Tom McLeod at the 35-yard line. That was Van Egan again, and McLeod would refuse to be suckered. Made a very good defensive play to stop Oakland at the 35. 3rd down coming for the Oakland Raiders. 8 to go at their own 35.
Deanne is in, another receiver.
Guy I'm watching is Burt Jones down here on the sideline, and he is extremely uncomfortable holding his left side, and Bill Troop is warming up. It'll be third down and 8 at the Raider 35. Wide to the right side. Paletnikov and Ciani. They're in their spread. Back to throw goes Fake. He sets up. Fake rolls out of pressure. Stabler's rolling around waiting for somebody to help him, and he hits Cliff Branch. And fumbled, and I don't know who's got the football. It may be Baltimore, but I don't want to call it till the official says. They're fighting for possession under that pile. We'll wait until the official uncovers, and we'll determine whether Oakland has recovered the football, but it won't be enough for a first down. Oakland has the football, but they'll have to kick. But they'll have to kick it away.
Boy, Branch almost had the first down, then he turned back and tried to look for some room upfield.
Henry Lawrence, one of the little guys, 6'4", 270-pound offensive tackle, recovered the football for the Oakland Raiders. At the 38-yard line, 4th and 5, and Ray Guy will punt. And how he punts. Ray Oldham is back downfield with Marshall Johnson. Waiting for Ray Guy's punt. He hits the ball just with incredible power and consistency, does Guy. Still waiting for the snap. There it is. Good snap. Guy comes to the football. And boy, what a rocket he put up in the air. Hanging up in the air. Fair catch requested and made by Marshall Johnson at the 15-yard line. He had no choice on that kind of a... But it was a moonshot. It really was.
That's a great kick. He punted from the 38-yard line to a fair catch at the 15. What more can you say?
Jones is going in at quarterback. Jones.
Boy,
holding his left side.
I don't know what he can do. It hand off the ball. Of course, it's his left arm, but throws short right-handed.
Jones coming up with Ron Lee in the eye. Behind Lee will be Lydell Mitchell to Baltimore 15, first down. Waiting for the takeaway by the Baltimore quarterback. He turns, pitches back to Lydell, a swing to the left side. Hendricks shoved the blocker out of the way. Raymond Chester and made the tackle and carried Chester all the way back down to the 5-yard line, but did not knock him down. Oh, Hendricks, tremendously strong. You see the way he shred that blocker.
Hendricks is defensive end, of course, at Miami, and very strong upper body and strong arms.
He had to be to keep people from getting to that rather frail body that is frail for a linebacker. Only so because he is so tall. No gain on the play. Second down 10 at the 15. Downey wide right, the other way Freddie Scott. Jones in a split backfield behind him. He takes it away he wants to throw. Burt fades back to the 5. Sets, looks once, starts to run. Jones out to the 17-yard line before he is taken down. He couldn't find anybody open and tried to run it out of there, and I hope he is able to get up again. John Matuzak made the tackle, and Jones just rolls over and scrambles back up onto his feet again. At the 17, third down and 8. Desperately needing to connect. 4:49 remaining on the clock in the overtime period, the first one. You play until somebody wins. Freddie Scott goes wide to the left side of the set. Dowdy the other way. Don McCauley in the backfield with Lydell Mitchell, a split backfield. Third down and 8 from the 17. Jones is back to throw. Pressure coming from the outside. They pick it up. Jones runs out of pressure at the 5, running upfield to the 22, about the 23, and then out of bounds, or maybe the 18, and then out of bounds. Excuse me. So Baltimore unable to find anybody open. Jones ran it upfield and goes out of bounds at about the 19-yard line. Mike McCoy was chasing him. And now David Lee will have to punt the ball from deep in his own territory. And you'd have to say if old man Moe is in town, that he has suddenly joined the Oakland Raiders.
Great defense holding him in. It shows the value of the punt by Ray. Lee punted a bomb the last time himself.
He really did, and he needs another one right now. And again, there will be a 10-man rush coming from the Oakland Raiders. Fourth down at about 6. Waiting for the snap. It's okay. Here comes the pressure. They cover it. Lee takes his time, hangs it up. Colsey is coming up to it. It calls for a fair catch and makes it at the Oakland 41.
Oh, good play, David.
Raider ball, first down now at the Raider 42-yard line. 31-31. The Colts 31, the Raiders 31. We are in the first overtime period. 4 minutes, 16 seconds on the clock.
That was 40 net yards from a scrimmage line, which is a good effort by David Lee.
9 times today, the Raiders and the Colts score has swapped. It has changed. Stabler brings them up in the football into the spread formation. Banaszak is the only man behind the open quarterback. He's back to throw. Plenty of time. Looks around. Now throws over the middle. Caught by Biletnikoff. Biletnikoff at midfield. Had hit and taken down at about the Baltimore 49-yard line. Ray Oldham made the tackle. He is just a little bit shy of first down yardage. It'll be second down for the Raiders and about a yard. And the ball is being spotted somewhere around the Baltimore 49. Second down at a yard. Banaszak goes out. Van Egan comes in along with Clarence Davis. Siani goes out. Second down, a yard for Oakland near the Baltimore 49. They go to their spread formation again, do the Raiders. Stabler gets it off to Van Egan, jumps to the left side, and he is going to get first down yardage or close to it. He, on solo effort, Van Egan just ran right over people. Lunged out of the grass with Stan White, diving straight ahead. Nelson Muncie tried to bring him down, and he's very close to first down yardage. It'll be third down and, well, we'll know when they measure. It might even be a first down. He is so very, very close. Any part of the football, and he's got it. Now he needs about a foot. He needs about a foot. Third down, inches or a foot. The ball resting between the Colts 49 and 48. And the Raiders huddle up while they re-spot the football.
There's 3:28 left in the first overtime period. That's academic because the first team has scored. I think the only thing it would have to do would be it would govern the number of timeouts in a half if they would go into a second period here. That's why they keep time.
Well, it'll be third down coming on a very short yard for the Raiders. The ball resting near the Baltimore 48. Banaszak and Davis are the running backs. They go to a triple tight end offense to the Raiders. Stabler gives to Banaszak straight ahead, and I don't know. He's probably got first down yardage. It turns out now to be Davis rather than Banaszak as the ball carrier. And it appears he's got first down yardage. Well, it was Banaszak. Banaszak got out of there so quickly I couldn't believe that he was the ball carrier. The officials now call for time. 3 minutes, 13 seconds remaining in the first overtime period. They're going to measure to be dead sure that he does have this first down, but it appears that the Raiders will have a first down. They've got it by about a foot.
They took it to the 32 the last time and had the field goal block. So they're at the 48 right now. First team scores, wins in overtime.
3 minutes coming up on the clock at overtime. Biletnikoff takes Siani with him as a slot to the right side. Branch is wide to the left. And that leaves only Van Egan as the running back. Stabler is back to throw. He sets up in the pocket, going for broke. Here's that man, Branch. And it's going to be incomplete at the goal line. Branch and Nelson Muncie. And I had to wait because that fella still flat on his back and they were fighting for possession. Again, I do not see a penalty marker. Nelson Muncie and Tim Baylor were both there.
Usually if they're looking at the ball and there hadn't been a lot of contact, there's not a penalty.
Well, once the ball is in the air, it belongs as much to the defensive man as the offensive man, as long as he goes for the football.
So when you see a fellow floundering around, not looking for the ball, just waving his arms, then you're in
trouble. Same offensive set for Oakland. Second and 10 at the Colts 48. Takeaway by Stabler, back to throw, looks to front, back to pouring out of there, throwing a sideliner. It's going to be caught, and it will be taken out of bounds by Biletnikoff at about the Baltimore 36-yard line.
First down.
And it will be a first down.
Again, there's the fellow coming back to help him, or Biletnikoff. Maybe that's the route they run. He goes deep, or it appears to be going deep, stops and comes back. Of course, the defender, Norm Thompson, can't take a chance on him beating him deep. Has to give up ground, and Biletnikoff comes back to catch the ball.
Baltimore drops its middle linebacker Simonini and adds the fifth defensive back. First and 10 for the Raiders at the Baltimore 36. Branch wide left, Letnikoff and Ciani are wide to the right. The turn, Stabler gives it to Vanderbeck off the left side, and he's going to be smothered by Mike Barnes at about the third. Make that Van Egan at the 35-yard line. He got 1 yard out of it. Second down and 9 now at the Colt 35. Well, Errol Mann tried one from 48 yards away, or from the 38-yard line, and didn't make it. Kicked it so low, it was rather a simple matter for the Colts to block it. The Colts, however, in the overtime period have really not had too much penetration, nor have they had the ball quite that often. Again into the spread. Van Egan, the only man behind the snake. He's back to throw. Freddie Cook is there. He's got him. Fumble, but the Raiders pick it up, and they say he's dead in the grasp of the tackler. Back at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, that knocked him out of field goal range for sure. Now a big play by Fred Cook, the second sack of the day, as he ran over the man playing him. Who was the guy on the other side? Henry Lawrence. Yeah. Ball was at the 45-yard line.
Well, now the Raiders with a third down and about 19 at the Baltimore 45. Vanderbeck races in. Van Egan goes out. They bring the information into Stabler. And the Colts, with a minute and 10 remaining in the overtime period, 31-31 tie. Letnikoff is wide to the left with Ciani as a slot to the left. Back to throw goes Stabler. He sets up in the pocket. Halftime fires down the middle. Diving catch by Branch at about the 26-yard line. And that is very close to first down yardage, if not a first down.
Sure looks like it.
Branch makes the catch, a diving grab, very near the 26-yard line, and I'm not sure from our angle, but what he may have first down.
He needed 19 yards. Looks like he got 19 yards. Just maybe the length of the ball beyond the necessary yardage.
Well, you've heard some silent measurements in your time, Vince, but what about this one? Listen to this crowd.
Well, that was only third down.
Against hope. That's right. First down, Oakland.
Yeah, that could be the game breaker right there. That big play by Fred Cook before the sack had him back, and we're taking a timeout now. Is this an official timeout?
I think the Colts have taken the time. I'm not too sure.
So timeout. We'll have more Baltimore Colts football in 60 seconds.
And Brett.
WMD Aberdeen.
Well, the Raiders are in possession of the Baltimore Colts 26, first down. 46 seconds remaining in the overtime period, but that is, just academic right now. Oakland is in possession. They had a third and 19 at the Colt 45, out of field goal range. Stabler found Branch with a diving catch at the Baltimore 26, and now the Raiders are in great shape. The first team to score will win.
Definitely within range for a field goal for Errol Mann, even if they fail to get closer and score a touchdown.
All ready to go. Stabler brings them out. They go into their spread formation, waiting for the takeaway. Stabler is back to throw, looks to set up, find a receiver, throws it over the middle, caught, and taken down inside the 20-yard line goes the receiver, Freddie Letnikoff, inside the 20 at about the 18-yard line. Bruce Laird made the tackle at about the 18. A gain of 8, second down and 2 now. And a timeout again. This one charged to Oakland. They have one timeout left.
Stabler has thrown 2 interceptions today, both by Bruce Laird. In the game where Denver intercepted 7, they were mostly tipped balls.
Look at the numbers, though. Stabler has thrown 39 times, completed 20 for 335 yards. That is a tribute to not only Stabler, to his receivers, but as I said again, to that offensive line of the Oakland Raiders, who really, against a very good pass-rushing defensive team, the Colts are among the very best in the league. Oakland has done the job of protecting the snake, and if you give him time, forget it.
It's certainly not an indictment of the Colts.
Not at all.
Back. They played a good ball game, but if you never get to the guy...
Nor is it an indictment of the front four.
No, not at all.
My goodness.
They were saying that the offensive line, the Oakland offensive line, moves like a bulldozer in low gear. And that's what it is. You don't move them.
They are just like a an iron curtain around Stabler. It'll be 2nd down and 2 for the Raiders at the Baltimore 18.
Baltimore just hoping for some kind of a break.
Davis, and let's see, is it Banaszak or Van Egan? It is Banaszak. Behind the quarterback, Stabler, he turns, gives to Banaszak. Left side, he is down to about the 15 and inside to about the 13-yard line before he's knocked down by Nelson Muncie. And the Raiders will have a first down.
Tackled by Muncie. First and 10.
At the Baltimore Colts, well, let's call it the 13-yard line.
So now the question is, how far do you hold on to the ball before you kick it, or do you get it in the middle of the goalpost and kick it, let man try a 25-yarder if you can get a little closer? Because every time you carry the ball, you take a chance on dropping it.
Well, there goes the end of the first overtime period. They let the clock run out, and I guess the reason for that is just, to kick on a much better surface down here at this end of the field. We'll be back with today's second overtime period in 70 seconds. Well, we're ready to go now to our second overtime period in Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. A sellout throng and a very quiet crowd, and you understand why. Oakland is in possession of the Baltimore Colts 14-yard line, 1st and 10 at that spot. Banaszak and Davis are the running backs behind Stabler. Takeaway, Stabler gets to Banaszak, right side, popped pretty good at about the 11-yard line is Banaszak. And they just keep wedging it down there, hoping that they can continue the drive to the Oakland Raiders, and I don't think they'll go to the field goal fence until they're absolutely forced to. And a Baltimore Colt is injured on the play. Rolling over very slowly is Bruce Laird. Laird is the injured football player. Second about the 11-yard line.
I think your theory is right, that you get a guy like Banaszak, and these are really proven pros, Banaszak or the other Henry Clarence Davis. They've all carried the ball in many, many clutch situations. And they'll probably try to jam the ball into the end zone. And as a last resort, kick a field goal. If you get more chance of a field goal being blocked or being missed than them hammering the ball in. Bruce coming out, he's limping. He's played an outstanding game. A lot of people have on both sides.
How true.
One of the best games they've ever played in Baltimore, even though right now it's looking like a loss as Oakland, with a ball around the 10-yard line, all they have to do is kick a field goal or get into the end zone, and they've won it.
Second down at about 7 for the Raiders near the Baltimore 10, between the 10 and the 11. 31-31 tie in the second overtime period. Van Egan and Davis, the running backs, behind quarterback Stabler. A triple tight end offense now for the Raiders. In motion, Bankston through the backfield to the right side and stopped. To take away Stabler, play action fake, wants to throw into the end zone. Casper's there, touchdown Oakland. Casper made the catch for the touchdown that wins the ball game. It was thrown to a spot by Stabler. Stabler just looped it over the head of the defender. Perfectly thrown pass into the hands of Casper. And the Oakland Raiders have won this epic kind of a struggle between the Colts and the Raiders this afternoon in a game that saw the lead change hands a total of 10 times till we got into overtime. The 10th change of leadership or scoring, and it is all over.
Ball's thrown to an absolutely indefensible part of the field, Chuck. If it's overthrown, nobody can intercept it. And Big Casper protecting the play of the ball with his body and had it all the way. Third touchdown of the game for Dave, and 37-31 will be the final.
Well, they're giving the Colts, and I'm glad to see this, a great ovation as they go off the field because they deserve it, every one of them. Offensive team, defensive team. They played their hearts out this afternoon to the Colts and went down in the second overtime period by a score of 37-31.